Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Moscow Grand Prix. It's the final day of round one, and despite all predictions, most of the matches were decided in the classical format. So we have only two tiebreaks today. So your hosts will be Daniil, Yuffa, and me, Evgeny Miroshnichenko. And the players for today are Wesley So and young Krzysztof Duda. That's one pair, and the other tiebreak is Hikaru Nakamura versus Timur Rajabov. Well, the games will start like in a minute or so, so we have just a very limited time to look at the players roster to see who is through already. I believe we do have this information to look at who has already advanced to round two, because if I'll start remembering, I might forget someone. It's much easier with the graphic. Daniil Dubov, after winning a very nice game yesterday, he is through to round two, and he is waiting for the result of today's tiebreak. He will face either Timur Rajabov or Hikaru Nakamura. Then, young Krzysztof Duda and Wesley So are playing, and for them, for the winner of this pair,
we'll encounter Alexander Grishuk, who yesterday managed to win a Rukan game against Sergei Karakin, and in the other part of net, Jan Nepomniachtchi. After converting advantage that he received in the first game, he managed to draw with black pieces yesterday, and he will face Wei, who is the only player who managed to win with black pieces, and he did it yesterday against Dmitry Yakovenko. And the last quarter of net,
Peter Svidler
will play against Radoslav Wojtaszek tomorrow. And that's it for now, and now we are waiting for the first moves of our tiebreaks.
So the tiebreak matches consist of a maximum of 7 games, but it will be played in, as we're used to, it will be played in the sets. So it starts with the set of 2 games, 25 minutes plus 10 seconds. If this finishes 1-1, so 2 draws or they exchange victories, then we will shorten the time control, and it will be 10 minutes plus 10 seconds. If it's still a draw, then it will be a blitz, a bit longer blitz, 5 minutes plus 3, not 3 plus 2, which is more common for World Blitz Championship and other events which are held under the blitz time control. Right, so this is a bit longer. And finally, if this is draw, then we have
a game of sudden death, Armageddon,
or whatever you call it. Yes, the game where white gets an extra minute but gives black draw odds. So in case of a draw, the match is considered to be won by the player who had the black pieces. As you can see, the games have started, and I'm wondering what openings we're gonna see. It won't be a Catalan anymore, it's a Queen's Gambit. Hikaru has played the Queen's Gambit.
So instead of yesterday's game where he tried fifth's G3.
He still played both knights, like knight f3, knight c3, and so that was somewhat unusual Catalan moves order. And now he went for the fair Queen's Gambit with bishop g5. Well, I'm not sure. I think it is,
which is well known, and I think that the first positions come from the matches between, I think, Capablanca against
Lasker. Could be Capablanca Lasker. This so-called orthodox defense when they were playing knight d7, c6, and then taking on c4. Then the theory was pushed forward by Alechin against Capablanca once again. There's I don't know if it's an official term, but I remember in my childhood when I was attending some, local club, it was called the opening of the world champions.
Yes.
The Queen's Gambit, because really it was featured in many.
Yeah, so it's quite solid. You don't see a lot of tactics immediately, so it's not like when you play the first move e4 and you have some Sicilian position. So it's like this is the opening to decide who understands the chess better at all.
Yeah. What's interesting though, d takes c4.
Yes, it's.
It's not the most common move.
Probably.
I do remember Timur Rajabov playing Lasker's defense, which is castle e3, knight e4, instead of
Yes.
So e3 was played, then c5. a simplistic approach, like white will take on c4, black will take on d4, and then either it will be isolated pawn, or if white willing to take with the piece, it will be some symmetrical structure. So very, very solid position for black. Possibly he's giving away a tempo. I mean, there is a feeling like he's giving away a tempo compared to some other positions, because the bishop takes on c4 in one go. It's like bishop f1 takes c4. But maybe it's still good enough, yeah?
Yeah, so usually black wait till white play bishop e2 or bishop d3 and then take on c4, trying to convince white that you made a kind of mistake. And I remember that in Alekhin's book, so Alechin has 4 books about his games for all of his life, and considering his game against Marshall in 1927, in the Meron line, the 6th move bishop d3 he considered is a kind of inaccuracy, but now it's a kind of main
that's obviously like a main line, even though some people they do play the sneaky queen c2 move, waiting for black to capture and then to take on c4 in one go. So c takes, knight takes, and this kind of gives me an idea that Naka would not mind, shorter time controls.
Yes.
Because knight takes, it's like, I mean, it's not like white gives all the chances immediately, but it's much more quiet. So if you want to be more principled, I believe you do take with the pawn.
Yeah. So it's like an isolated pawn. It can be a transposition from Panov's variation.
Yeah, very typical position for many lines, right? Especially if we consider like a difference of half of a tempo. You can get this from the Nimzo, where the bishop goes to b4, then takes and comes back to e7. So if with this,
so this position maybe met in Karpov. This position occurred in Karpov's games for maybe 50 or 60 times. I think usually with black pieces.
Alright, so but in our game, a knight has taken on d4, bishop d7, preparing knight c6 was played by Timur Rajabov, and Naka went for queen to e2. Well, once again, a typical move. If knight goes to c6, then
maybe rook fd1.
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah, first I thought to take on c6 and go e4. But I'm wondering if I didn't blunder a pawn. I probably blundered a pawn. Yeah, like this. Knight takes.
Yeah, and the bishop takes. There is
bishop e7. There is knight c3 intermediate, and then white is simply pawn down.
Yeah, but I think you can prepare for starting with f3. Which is not a bad move originally.
Yeah. It's like strategically, it's f3, e4, bishop comes back to f2, and then white is claiming, okay, your knight on f6 is restricted, your bishop on c6 is somewhat stupid, and I'm supposed to be slightly better, which is not always the case, but at least white can play this position on.
Yeah, so let's look at the position on the board.
Knight c6, rook f d1 immediately. Yeah, he did play queen e2, and rook f to d1 immediately. And I'm not sure. I want to say that the play has slowed down. Not really, but since Rajabov is taking his time here, we can look at the other game as well. Huh? Okay, queen b6 quickly. Yeah, the moment he slows down, we will switch to the other game. So queen to b6. Yeah, that's usually the challenge in such symmetrical positions, because for white it's very natural. Somehow, look at the structure. It's absolutely symmetrical, but there is a feeling that white has somewhat more space, right? And usually white is in time to put the queen on e2, and black has to find the square for his queen. If it's stable on b6 or something, because otherwise it's like white puts the rook on d1, rook on c1, the queen is awkward, and in some positions you have to play like queen e8, which is once again not very pleasant.
But at the same time, I think black one just simply play rook fd8 and bishop e8.
And bishop e8, this is very typical, yeah. Very typical and very solid position. So queen b6 is once again a nice move, nice place for the queen, which cannot be chased away that easily. Maybe still we can think of now. I thought f3, bishop f2, but then black apparently just takes on d4 after f3.
But it's still a bit unclear.
Takes. There is no bishop c5
because of bishop
that's
f6.
Important. That's important. Bishop c5 and
there
then
is some small tactics, which is quite unpleasant for black, right?
Yeah, and then if instead of bishop c5 I go bishop c6, then maybe white is in time to build the position he wants. Right, bishop c6, he will go back to f2. Bishop f2, bishop, I don't know, bishop c5, rook d1 or rook d2, something. Okay, it's never too much for white. It's never too much, but there is some slight, maybe some slight pressure, right? Like
yes, but white
e4
do not pretend to be much better. I mean, they are trying to receive their slight advantage and step by step converging.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, such symmetrical positions, they're always about some minimal, really, like tiny edge. Then, so essentially, you want your opponent to play on somewhat unpleasant position and then to make mistakes later on. It's not like Sicilian, so you just go and mate the guy.
Right.
Yeah, so that's like.
So maybe now it's time to switch.
Yeah,
the
now
games.
it's time to switch to the other game. So repeating the colors, and I believe Jan Krzysztof Duda wished himself that he
wouldn't play Dragon.
He would choose this opening yesterday. Yeah, to remind you, Jan Krzysztof Duda won in a very nice fashion, won game 1 against Wesley So, but then well,
yeah,
it is result-oriented, right? After knowing the result, it's easier to criticize.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
But somewhat strange, somewhat peculiar opening choice. So he went for a dragon for very sharp position, and it gave the possibility for Wesley So to level the score of the game.
No, but
Wesley So
I
won
think
yesterday.
that in turn for his, entire and future career, maybe it's a good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I also have a feeling like this is a brave decision. This is what you have to do. Yeah, so like being solid, it's a little bit of a pensioner's approach.
Probably when Jan Krzysztof will play chess in age of 45 or 50, he will choose some
safe options.
Yeah, safe options, because while you're young, you have to be ambitious and have to show that you have more energy and you can just crush by any color.
Okay, so today e5 was played, and it was Gioco Piano Italian, right, with bishop c4. That's actually the same line with reversed colors as the game 1, knight f6, but Wesley went with castle and then went d5, right? Duda goes for another very solid setup, d6.
Yes.
And castles, rook to e1, a5, that's, I think, kind of a, I don't know, the most fashionable nowadays, right. Like, because they used to play it with a6 and bishop a7, now a5 for some reason is much more common.
If I remember correctly, Vishwanathan started with a4 in these kind of positions, or even without castle.
It could be, yeah. I mean, it's like what's hard to understand in such positions, because if you open the database, the reference, like what games are played, and you can find that practically every sane move was tried, like h3, knight b to d2, a4 first or b4 first, and all of them have some subtle points.
At the first sight, it looks like it's almost everywhere we see transpositions, but some very, very strong players like Vishwanathan Anand has his own idea even for every single move.
Right, so rook to e1, a5, knight to d2, bishop e6.
Yes, maybe.
Bishop b5, I guess, yeah. Knight to e7.
Yeah, so it's a well-known position. So I think nothing.
Knight to e7, knight is heading towards g6, and this is what has happened. I'm not sure what white has
played. Knight f1.
Knight f1. Wait, the pawn is on d4 already.
Knight g6. Maybe
d4 first, bishop to a7. Yeah, it's like he made his last.
Okay,
yeah, could it be
maybe d4 first,
d4, bishop to a7, yeah, because now if you take on e5, he has knight g4. Right, knight to f1, knight to g6. Then white apparently puts the knight on g3. Yes, that's exactly what Wesley So did. So a little bit different position compared to Nakamura and Rajabov, but, you know, strangely enough, with all the pieces on the board, the play will be more or less the same, because it's a long maneuvering stage. The difference is that at some point this might explode, and Nakamura's game is purely technical. c6, so you can go to f1, you can go to a4 and c2, and
over d3, I think.
Okay, you go to d. Yeah, why would you go to a4 and c2 if you just go to d3? Absolutely.
Okay, maybe bishop a4 is not a weird move, because maybe at some variations we provoke for b5, but b5 is a kind of black's plan in this position, so I don't know. I think.
Yeah, it's like in Ruy Lopez, you are happy with black playing b5 because you're always you're always in time. Yeah, you're always in time to go a4, and if he plays bishop a4 now, it's b5 a4, and probably black is just faster. So bishop is put on d3. So now, real task for black, I would say.
Rook e8.
Rook e8, something. Yeah. So the task in terms of ideas, not the moves, like to somehow force white to release the pressure in the center, right? Because d5 practically never works. I mean, okay, you're trying to prepare it, but it's really hard. So white usually watches out for d5.
It's a bit funny that we said before that the Queen's Gambit is a champion's opening, and it really shows who understands chess better. But now I
see
such
positions as well.
Yeah, as well.
Such positions as well. As we said, it's like
completely different. Instead of, for example, 2 games between Daniil Dubov and Anish Giri. I mean, when we saw a lot of tactical ideas, now we see that it's all positional.
I believe for this particular tiebreak, this is the territory where Wesley So feels very comfortable.
Probably.
So Duda, I believe his play is more of a dragon. I mean, it's actually that's what he has to look at. Okay, I mean, still he's not a bad player.
But they are both classes, so that's why maybe the difference is so slight that it's even hard to mention it.
Yeah, just my point is that in order to beat Wesley So in rapid games, where he is of course very strong, he has won like few legs of Grand Chess Tour in rapid, and so you kind of have to set him off his comfort zone, and that was done. I was commentating on Grand Chess Tour in Russian channel last year, and I remember Shahryar Mamediyarov winning against Wesley So, for instance. And it was like crazy tactical game.
Like with black, right?
Yeah, crazy tactical game. So he was always, disbalancing the position. And in such case, it will be really hard. But anyway, I mean, if Duda holds a draw in this one, he will have a shot at winning the match with white.
Yeah, but Duda is a very strong calculator, maybe like top 5 in the world, because, okay, I think that the results performed, for example, in the previous World Blitz Championship and in previous European Blitz Championship show that young Krzysztof is possible to calculate almost everything in just in few seconds. And so we'll see how they'll play in time trouble. I think that can be a crucial factor.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, I don't really see what the time on the clock is. Looks like Wesley barely spent any time. Yeah, to remind you, it's 25 minutes plus 10 seconds. I think Duda started to think somewhere around this moment. Yeah.
Maybe he thinks about h6 or rook e8.
Yeah, once again, it's so hard to understand. I mean, in which position you need h6, in which position it's just a weakness, because sometimes, so 2 obvious drawbacks of h6. First of all, you give white a chance to sacrifice at some point, like bishop e3, queen d2, and then white will probably have to play h3 himself, and then he sacrifices on h6 in some position.
Maybe h6 is not necessary there.
I mean, I'm not sure, because bishop g5 is also sometimes annoying, right? And the other drawback of h6 is that when you go d5, they take on d5, and then somehow this bishop g6 happens, you have to take with f4.
So maybe Duda can start with rook e8.
Maybe he starts with rook e8, because knight g5, bishop g5, then we go h6.
Yeah, so I mean,
knight g5, we can move.
a4.
a4.
I like this move.
Ambitious move. Yeah, he says, okay, I don't see any threats, so I'm just improving the position. I'm pushing this pawn forward. It cannot be taken, by the way, because of bishop takes d4, right?
Right.
So why not? Yeah, improving the situation on the queen side, because after our rook e8, possibly white would go a4.
Right.
Possibly white would go a4 just to stabilize.
So I started to think if h3 is good for white, because at some point maybe I want to play bishop e3, creating some pressure on the diagonal. But playing bishop e3 now is always can be. Yeah, it's not so accurate because of in terms of like knight g4.
Knight g4, yeah, it's weird because knight g4 doesn't really exchange the bishop, right?
Yes.
But you have to move it. Say you go to g5 and even queen d7 or queen c8, and then the bishop is strangely placed on g5.
h3 is played by Wesley.
Yeah, perhaps Yeah, he did play h3. He did play h3. And the other thing...
Maybe b5 just simply.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, is the pawn is still not hanging? I mean...
Yeah, but it's not clear what is the drawback of b5. Yeah?
Yes.
So you just gain more space, and it was played, yeah. You gain more space. It's hard to say what's wrong with b5. So why not?
Yeah, so we're gaining some space, and also... I mean, I can't say that rook on a1 is kind of passive because the a2 pawn. So I mean, like playing a3.
Yeah, this is something you don't want to do.
Yeah. I mean, like we're giving some squares, and so.
And otherwise, yeah, the rook is kind of tied down to the defense of a2 pawn. And interestingly enough, I mean, I believe those situations, they much more often occur with colors reversed.
Right.
It's like white who starts the game, and then if we get the symmetrical position, then white is somewhat faster, and he's getting this pressure. Usually he's getting this pressure on the opponent's queen side. So this time white wasn't in time to move the pawns on the queen side, but he's going with bishop e3 to be followed up with queen d2, I believe, and then he will try to look for some kingside at prospects.
Yeah, so maybe Duda can continue with something like queen e7 there, I think. I mean, in some positions to take with queen on a7. I mean, just maybe there are a lot of good moves for black there, and the position is not so concrete.
Ah, wait, queen e7, he apparently has...
Knight f5,
yeah, white has knight f5.
Yeah, maybe queen e7 has some
it's like... It's very common in such positions that it's very hard to say what the threat is, but still you have to make very accurate moves. Very accurate moves. Yeah, I was looking at one idea here, but I'm not sure what black has to do to allow it. Like, let's make some, or like couple of silly moves with black. Yeah, rook e8, for instance, queen to d2.
But I'm not sure that rook e8 is kind of...
Yeah, rook e8 is not such a silly move. Queen d2, and then, I don't know, let's pass. Bishop b6, which is very stupid move to make. I just want to check.
To create some threats for ourselves.
Does bishop g5... It's like bishop g5, I'm threatening, obviously, knight h5, yeah?
Yes.
I thought bishop g5, h6, and then to take it twice. But not in this position. No, just black is just... Black just goes queen e7 and queen f8. So rook e8, in fact, is a very useful move. Queen e7, because the idea itself, taking on h6, and then not... I mean, sometimes you just mate by force, but even getting, like, slower attack. Just you bring the knight to g5 and then you're threatening knight h5. It's very typical. It's very typical, but not
I think overall that the main point in chess that's sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, but usually we create the threats for ourselves. I mean, so there is no threat in positions. We made this kind of move that creates the threats for ourselves.
Two most dangerous and most common mistakes. I mean, mistake one, your opponent attacks, it's like not on this level, but on club level. I attack your rook, you do not move the rook, I take it. That's type 1. And then type 2, the rook wasn't hanging, you moved it, and then you moved it to the attacked square. So once again, I take the rook. Right, so h6 allows white to take on h6. It doesn't work in this position, but
maybe in future.
You get the idea.
Okay, so maybe we can switch now.
Yeah, let's check Nakamura one more time. I believe. Okay, some development. The pawn on e5, white.
Yeah, so the position is so sharp that they never had even a similar one in 2 games before.
Yeah, it is still symmetrical, but it is quite I don't know, unbalanced. But yeah, white definitely has something.
Yes,
like those.
I have a question. If black plays knight f5, can I take on e6 with rook?
That's a good one. I mean, not sure if it's a good move, but it's a very good question, right? I mean, because it is a sort of a principle, right? It's a principle line.
Yeah, I think.
The question is if he
has to take really, maybe
because the rook is not. Look, the rook is not running away. Oh, to g6. you can escape to G6.
Yes, for example, knight c5.
Funny enough, yeah.
Maybe I can start with
you trade,
taking,
you trade on d8.
or maybe
d8,
I can just play rook
or
g6
just play rook
immediately.
g6.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's funny.
if I'm not losing by force, yeah, I can play rook g6.
Not clear. Yeah.
And then probably rook g4 is the only square.
Yeah, could be. But,
but no.
let's look at the capture. Rook e6, pawn takes, bishop takes. Some move,
So
king or bishop.
I think this
yeah,
one is
king
more
h8,
solid,
yeah, king h8. Bishop takes f5. So
because at this position, bishop f7 at least allows taking on.
Yeah, like takes
f7.
e6, an extra option for white.
Yes.
Why would you allow extra options?
And this can be lost from black.
Yeah, the pawn on d7 will be very dangerous. So king h8, and white supposedly has to pick up some material. So takes on f5. White has 2 pawns for an exchange.
Yes, knight e5
looks
doesn't
promising
work.
position, yeah?
Yeah.
Looks like a promising position for white. Knight e5
No, it doesn't work.
doesn't really work. Bishop h5 though is here.
Yes, but
no?
I think I can
no,
take.
you
I think
take
I can
d7.
take.
Sorry, you take d7.
Yeah.
So then what? Then I will have to play some move like knight f8, but this is...
Yeah, but
or
white
knight
have a very strong compensation.
This is dangerous, yeah.
Yes.
This is certainly dangerous. So rook e6 is in the air. I spotted another idea. If you try to simplify by moving the d7 knight, I think you're just losing after b4.
Like
No? There is still queen c7.
yeah, there is
Wait.
queen c7, but at least
There
I
is
mean,
still queen c7. Yeah, then
maybe I can make some kind of
queen
improvement
b3.
from d file. Yeah. Queen
No, but
d3.
then he goes to c8. And
now I
pieces
have
are-
some problems.
Yeah. Yeah, before looked attractive. Maybe you don't need, or I don't need this move. I was the one to raise the question about this.
Yeah, knight
before.
f8 is quite solid.
Knight
but
f8, maybe you have to do it. Maybe you have to do it. But the question though is, do you want to take on d6 next move?
I think not really. Maybe knight f5 now. Is
Maybe knight
the main
f5
idea.
now is the idea. Yeah. So it's like knight e4, for instance. You go knight f5. And then white...
Yeah, and so now black forces white to
white
take or probably just go back.
trades the rooks.
And probably advantage just disappears.
Yeah, it's not much, yeah, because without the rooks, black kind of gets the squares for
Yep.
all the pieces. Knight on f8 is fine, it protects the king. Then bishop gets to c6.
Yeah, so obviously, and usually the idea in positions with extra spaces to save as many pieces as we can, and for the side who is like
for the opponent it's the opposite, to
is
simplify.
pushed, we have to trade as many pieces as we can.
But Timur is
Yeah, he played knight f5. I mean,
he played knight f5.
yeah, but okay, we'll see what will Naka do. But again, like after knight f8, do we have something forced for white? I mean, showing that we are still better mathematically.
Not sure really. It's like I'm trying to find some tactic to use the overload of the queen, but no, before queen goes to c7.
So Nakamura played rook 6
Rook
d2,
back to d2. Rook back to d2.
which is not very, I can say.
So something, perhaps there was some problem. Wait, rook takes e6, and then instead of knight c5, we have to go knight f8, covering the only remaining square. Because after knight c5, the rook was escaping using this pin. The rook was escaping to g6, and now
Yes,
it looks like
now it makes sense.
the rook is trapped,
Yeah, so rook e8
which
is probably
might
not
be
working.
not the end of the line. Because yes, you still have the capture on e8, but I find it hard to believe
Yep.
that white will have full compensation.
Sure.
It's still the fight. I mean, it's not like white resigns immediately, but why would you do it? Yeah. So knight f5, rook clears off to d2. Rook to d2, still some slight pressure, but then it feels like black is perfectly fine playing knight f8 now.
Yes, with bishop c6 coming probably.
It's like he can try.
And,
so g4, but
and
what's-
probably now white have to be patient because like
Yeah, in some
next
positions,
yeah.
e5 pawn is
it
weak.
can be a weakness,
actually.
right?
Yeah, like if you allow black a couple of moves, bishop c6, knight g6, all of a sudden the pawn on e5 is no longer that comfortable.
Yeah, so knight f8 is played and
Knight f8 is played, and maybe that's, once again a time for Nakamura to, to just shut down the play,
Right.
trade all the rooks, go bishop d3 or something, and then just,
But it's
or
still
maybe you can end up being worse, yeah?
Yeah.
That's somewhat of a worry. Can end up being somewhat worse.
Yeah, so ambitious g4 looks very dangerous because knight can just go back and then the
Knight
f4
goes
square
back, and then whenever one
becomes
of the
quite
knights
weak.
appears on g6,
yes,
it will
be
become
annoying
really,
for white.
really uncomfortable for white. Bishop to d3 at once, keeping all the rooks on the board. Well, kindly asking black, do you want to lose on the spot, exchanging the knights on d4?
Yes,
like
but
knight
bishop
d4, knight
h7.
d4, yeah, rook d4, bishop h7, 1-0.
Right.
But of course, Rajava will not fall for that. My question
Maybe
would be,
black can start with bishop c6 immediately, no?
Yeah, it's like that's essentially what I wanted to say. Do you really want to take on f5? Never, right?
But
Because
I
this
think
is like very comfortable version of some. No,
Maybe
maybe
this one.
if you're in time to get knight d4.
yeah, this
Because I thought knight d6 comes very next move, and then
yeah,
like
of
it's
course.
fine.
But there white have a slight edge.
Can I do
think-
knight d6 anyway?
Still.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
but maybe
knight
my main idea was to take on c6 there.
Oh,
I mean,
c6 not on
disrupting the pawn
f5.
structure.
This might be something like taking on c6, going rook d6. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe also I can take there.
Knight f5. I thought bishop g2, but of course not completely sure what's going on.
Yeah, like
Queen
queen g4, taking on
And
h6.
then you take on h6. Yeah, bishop c6. You take on h6.
Yeah, okay, it's still.
It's still messy. King f8, e5 is hanging. Okay.
Yeah.
This will never happen in a game. And look at Hikaru. He's not looking at the position. That's very typical of those elite players, because they are calculating so deep. So in fact, the placement of the pieces on the board might be a factor of distraction. Strangely enough. Strangely enough, yeah. You can see Peter Swidler doing this all the time.
Yeah.
You can see Magnus Carlsen sometimes that he's sitting and watching the ceiling.
I've heard something similar about Mikhail Botvinnik, but I may be wrong.
So that he wasn't. Sometimes he was not looking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
I mean
actual
just
board. Yeah. That's
Everything in mind. So he might be a very strong blindfold player.
Bishop d3 played, and Naka
Bishop c6.
Oh, sorry,
and
bishop
yeah,
c6.
bishop
Yeah.
c6.
Naka was not planning to take on f5. He went bishop e4 without much of a hesitation.
Immediately, I mean just.
Yeah. So this does look like he decided, to simplify. So to keep the similar pieces on the board, so it's like not trading the bishop for knight and everything. So it's like to minimize the
Yes, but it has
risk factor.
sort of sense because I mean trading the bishops, the black's pawn on queen side may be an aim for white because queen and a4 will attack the
so
queen
we'll
side,
attack
and then
with
we'll also
the
have some
queen.
plans connected with probably g3, h4. I mean just slowly improving on both sides.
Okay, and since half of the playing hall is, yesterday you would have the chessboard, the chess tables there with people playing, but
Yeah.
since it's a knockout tournament, half of the playing hall was freed for the spectators. So now we have, and from now on we will have the spectators in the playing zone. Okay, so bishop e4. What white's supposed to do, black's supposed to do? To take, or he can still continue to pretend to be clever, like to go knight e7,
Yes.
to take on c6 with the knight, to put the other knight on g6, and still, create some pressure on this e5 pawn. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
serious
I
that
think it's
is.
still like around equal.
Yeah, should be equal. Should be equal. So let's switch again. Let's switch to Wesley So and Jan Krzysztof Duda. a3 was played. He accepted the
Yes,
fact
rook
that
e8.
rook e8.
Yeah, sorry.
he started
You
with
know, like
bishop
bishop
d6,
v6.
interesting.
That's
The one that we that I said, okay, let's just pass. That's a stupid move. Yeah, see, queen d2, rook e8.
I mean, I'm a bit scared because in Naka's game, we told about the positions that will never happen.
And it might happen.
Yes,
now.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And before it, he told that bishop b6 is a silly move that probably will never be played in this game, and bishop b6 was played.
In fact, it could be that it's the same idea as your queen e7. Remember, we were playing queen e7 so that after d5, d5, queen can take the bishop when the bishops are coming off the board.
Yes.
So here it's sort of the same. If white will want to take on e5, it's d5, bishop b6, queen b6.
And after e3, he can play rook b8 because black's rook is no more creating the pressure on a file.
No longer needed on a file.
So it's not useful there, and rook b8.
So which makes this bishop protected for one more time. Yeah, you can get queen c8 now freely if you wish to do so.
So now I just don't understand what to do with both colors. I mean, probably just white have to stay and black have to stay.
Yeah, that's inevitably, this situation inevitably comes in such openings. Like, you have to, hover around with the pieces, waiting for your opponent to make slight inaccuracy. And those top players, they are usually very good at it.
Maybe we can check some kind of forced lines. I mean, connected with knight f5.
For example, what happens after knight f5?
Probably even bishop f5, e takes f5, e4 looks interesting. But maybe it's not that we wanted to have, because we can take some g6.
Hg6.
Yeah, hg6, and we're saving the bishop. And probably this would maybe slightly better for white.
ef3, bishop f3,
and like d5.
d5.
And bishop comes to c7.
Bishop c7 also should be fine.
Almost
It's, it's like, once again, if in this position black's pawn is on a5, white's pawn is on b3, so that white has the idea to play c4. Then
or a4.
Or a4, yeah. If white has an option to open up the queen side and still keep some pawns there.
Open the diagonals for bishops,
but being as it is, looks so solid for black. Just goes bishop c7, can put the knight on e4.
So this is the kind of rare positions where the power of pair of bishops just is kind of miserable.
Doesn't really give you any advantage, right? Okay, so Duda is thinking. I believe he's under some time pressure. I mean, I'm not sure how much time he has.
Like he has, I think, I'm sorry, 19 minutes or 9. I don't know.
Yeah, can we go like full screen on the clock just to see how much time they have? Because it looks like it's a single-digit number of minutes, so like 7 or 8. Yeah, 7:55 instead, and 13.
But it is a bit strange because there were no, forced variations. There were almost no calculations. I mean, just
known plans, right?
Yeah.
If not the position itself, but the plans are all known. Well, the thing is, sometimes it's not that easy to readjust. From playing the classics, from having 30 seconds increment. So 25 minutes, it's not such a less. I mean, it's enough time to play a rapid game, absolutely. But then, when you get to play on increment, especially, it's like that's a huge difference. 10 seconds or 30 seconds, right? So in classics, when you're in time trouble, you still have 30 seconds, so you can think of the move, you can write it down, everything. Here, it's like you started thinking of the move, and all of a sudden you lost on time. So that makes those tiebreaks even more difficult, because you have to perform well under every single time control. I mean, so to remind you, if this one will be 1-1, if the match will be tied after 2 rapid games, 25 plus 10, the time control will become even shorter, 10 plus 10.
Right. So while Duda is thinking, maybe we can switch
we can once again check Naka, but I believe Naka will solve the technical issue of solidifying, equalizing this game completely.
Were traded.
And for Wesley So and Duda, I can say the tension is sort of building up, right? So they played 18 moves. Duda is already somewhat low on time, and in 10 more moves, Black will be in a clear time trouble. That's what I mean. And there is no guarantee that the position will clarify. It might be like you just go rook d8, c8, in your own camp. White is doing the same, maneuvering. All of a sudden, you're on 1 minute.
Yeah, but it may be a bit optimistic betting on Wesley So in this game because the position is still normal.
The position is absolutely fine for black. Yeah, I mean that even though it looks not all that exciting so far, things will inevitably happen in this game because we have a board full of pieces. Once again, we are not talking about Nakamura's game against Rojava. By the way, the fact that Nakamura played h4 and h5, I would still claim that shows some aggressive intentions. a6 and h5. So, well, now it's a serious question if he will be able to, to support those pawns. Obviously, it feels nice to grab some space, but sometimes those pawns, they'll start to be...
Yes, but I think, like, if we just imagine that we traded queens, I think h5 pawn can be kind of an investment in the endgame because usually
it's
like
very good to have it on h5 in the endgame. Obviously, b5, a6, b5. I'm not really sure what Timur is playing for. b4 and to take on a2. Is it the plan? Looks like.
But the question is what to do with white now because before may be a threat.
a3.
Yes, a3 and okay, I can't say that's at least a3 is aimed against before because a6 pawn is hanging, right?
At least I thought so. That black cannot play before. Takes and queen takes, attacks the rook on c8.
Yeah, if we are not blundering anything,
bishop e4, we just take the rook, right?
Yeah, I think it may be
some tricks like bishop f3, g.
Yes, but I still don't believe that it may work.
Yeah, queen f. Well,
I mean, at least Timur is not kind of player who calculates these kind of lines because it at least looks too risky for black.
Yeah, and you're not forced. I mean, if it would be your only option to, let's say, to stay in the game, then of course.
Yeah, so b5 and
Hikaru
played a3. Yeah,
a3 was played. What the time situation in this game? I believe Naka is still above 10 minutes. That would be my guess.
And personally, I don't like this plan for black playing a6, b5 because now white in some kind of positions have a c5 square. I mean, trading the bishops, playing knight e4 and then b4 and knight c5. So we'll see. And knight on f8 is a little bit misplaced and
it's like it's
not taking part in the game right now.
Yeah, getting cut off from the game. Especially if black all of a sudden starts to help white a little, like bishop takes, knight takes, and then if you look at this position, you clearly see that the knight on f8 is not doing all that much. And
I mean, tactically, probably even knight h7. Okay, at least this move doesn't look so good, but in this exact position, I think I can even consider this continuation and e6.
Takes e6.
Yes. Okay, maybe I'm too optimistic, but why not? Yeah, controlling some critical squares.
Bishop takes e4 was played.
So
the move that I claimed is helping white.
Yes, but it's quite difficult to keep the pressure.
Here, both captures make sense. It seems.
Yeah, I think with
queen takes. So
quite
stopping
natural.
b4
and not opening the c file. I mean, just avoiding any checks.
And then g4 might be on my agenda as well.
Yes.
g4 driving this knight back to e7. It's like if white would be able to regroup the knight from f3 somewhere.
Yes, but what is a better place? What is a better square on the board for the white's knight?
Ideally d6, but I don't know if it's ever getting there. Ideally I want to put it on d6. Yeah, but once again, not clear what black's supposed to do as well.
Yeah, so this position is better for white. I mean, I can't see clearly, but
it's like maybe it's not much, but it's white who is trying in this case. Yeah.
Maybe queen b7 is a direct threat with connected to rook d7. I mean,
so the knight is the
sorry, yeah. Yeah, but
queen b7
I'll start with queen
b7
b7
anyway. Queen b7 will be annoying.
Maybe knight e4 then. So we'll see.
So far we are waiting for Naka to recapture the bishop on e4.
Probably with queen. But usually Naka doesn't spend a lot of time in this kind of decisions.
So knight takes looks...
okay, it looks good, but...
yeah, it's like both make sense, as I said, yeah? The knight takes e4 as well, because possibly
we can try to guess what Hikaru calculates after knight e4, I mean.
b4 now? Because my point is that I want to play knight c5. That's at least what I thought.
Maybe we're not threatening right now. Yeah, but queen e4, okay.
He takes with the queen.
I propose to make this move like in 1 second, but...
rook to... What happens if black tries to simplify even further? Yeah, just goes rook d8. Which once again, in some sense, is logical, because you want to extract this knight from f8, yes. and if the rooks are exchanged, then the knight can go to d7.
But I don't know what... I don't see any weakness in my part of the board, I mean, if I'm playing white. Like, even queen d3 is moved without any threats, yeah, I just take on a6. And then I take on b5, and I have like queen f1
yes, after queen b7, I'm not even sure what you were supposed to do, like knight d4?
Yeah, knight d4, I think, at least it's logical.
Then black takes, yeah?
I mean, yeah, take there.
Takes, queen a6. And I'm not in time, queen e5.
Yeah, queen e5, queen b5.
Queen b5, check from e1,
queen
f1. That is what I was initially hoping for, yeah. And then queen f1.
And
here black's
this is
position
simply lost.
Perhaps just desperate.
Yeah.
It's not only the extra pawn, but the fact that two passed pawns on the queen side, connected passed pawns, which will
queen e7
pretty quickly.
Sorry, yeah. How the queen managed
the queen gets to
yeah, from a5 to e7, because it's impossible to make in one move. Probably queen b6 was played like before.
Yeah, queen b6.
Queen e4, then
king is on h2. Yeah, queen
you probably get
black
this one.
Gets to play queen b6, for instance, king h2, and queen to a7.
King h2.
Yeah, king to h7, supporting perhaps knight d7.
Queen d3, controlling the d file.
Once again, the knight d7 move is not allowed.
Yeah, so maybe queen e7 was played with an idea to play knight d7. That's why Hikaru replied queen d3.
Okay, so we can see 8 minutes 50 for Hikaru, and I believe it's 8 minutes as well. 8 minutes 10 seconds. It was a couple of seconds ago for Timur Rajabov.
So maybe now we can switch, because I think it might be getting interesting in So against Dura, because Dura had a time trouble.
Let's look at the other tiebreak. A lot of stuff has happened, I believe. No. I just saw this position. I already thought that was
nothing has changed,
Wesley
right?
Saw, yeah, and in Wesley Saw's position, it seems like nothing has changed.
No, but bishop c7.
Bishop c7, yes, bishop c2 and h6. So that's what I said. And look, he spent a couple of minutes on bishop c7, then 1 more minute on h7, h6. 3-4 moves, and Duda will have real-time deficit.
Yes, but probably the only idea that Duda has to be ready for is knight f5.
Knight f5 in
otherwise, I think I can play even king h8, king g8. Maybe at some point I allow you to play bishop h6.
I mean, if you're asking for it, if you get king h8, then maybe it's too much.
Yes, so now it's still not so clear. So what to do?
What to do for why, yeah?
Yeah.
Not even sure what white's supposed to do. Knight f5 here, or it's much less fun. Yeah, the problem with knight f5 is that I'm actually not sure what am I threatening here. Bishop h6, that's is sort of a threat, but not really. Looks... Yeah, that's the problem. It always looks decent for black, and you can say black can play reasonable moves, but
maybe knight f5 is...
you have to find all of
the aim of knight f5 is to play g4 next. I don't know.
But
looks ambitious, but why no?
About the f4 square, maybe not so much.
I really do not, because maybe my next move can be like king h1 and rook g1.
So like in style of real
Yeah,
those famous Kasparov's attacks, or I believe that there were players before him putting knight on f5, going to g4, king h2, bring the rook to g1.
So we'll see if knight f5 works in this exact moment.
It was played. Black has taken on f5, now that I can see it from a camera view, and went knight f8.
Maybe we can consider this position slightly better for white. Because
it depends, I guess. If you're in time to put your things on e4, if you're in time to block the pawn, yeah? So what do? You take on e5?
Yeah, maybe I was thinking about taking on e5, d takes e5, and probably c4 at some point. I mean...
just to open up like that.
No, but exactly there, maybe you can take with queen d2, because rook d2 is not possible because of bishop
Runs
a5.
into bishop a5, yeah.
Yes, so that's why it's still not...
You can take with the
maybe
knight.
I can take with knight, yes.
You can take with the knight. Maybe this is still...
Maybe this is better for white.
Maybe this is still playable. Yeah, especially if you allow white another tempo or two so that he puts the knight on e4. That will be unpleasant.
Right.
That will certainly be unpleasant.
Maybe black should save the queen, playing knight d7 or queen c8, but white have an extra space.
Does white
and a pair of bishops?
D8?
But it's not clear what to do with black there.
Yeah, I agree. It's just that I thought if white wanted to trade the queens, he could do so immediately and then go c4. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's just like giving black a choice between two not so good options.
Yeah, so Wesley took on e5, d takes e5, and I consider c4 is the main line there. Because otherwise knight d5.
He does have...
is probably a threat.
Does he have queen e2?
Like queen e2?
You still go knight...
maybe knight d7.
Knight
d7 or knight d5.
Knight d7, and the plan was to go knight d2 and to have some position like that, which is probably
maybe
not.
bishop b6
as well.
Yes. So this one is...
We'll keep exchanging. So Wesley took on d8,
but with rook
b to d8, and then he went c4.
Yes, maybe that's an improvement of our line, because now the b file is not worrying white, because b2 pawn is not hanging anymore, and it looks quite logical.
Yeah, remember we were talking about the power of two bishops and everything, so now we will see it in,
Yeah, but queen d8 is positionally a good move. I mean, according to Dorfman's method in chess, like the side who has a pair of bishops is trying to convert an advantage of a pair of bishops in the endgame, right? So I might guess that Wesley...
Seems like he's getting a pleasant position, or maybe even more than pleasant, because the threat is clear. He wants to take on b5 and then somehow attack this pawn. Not sure if immediately, because bishop d3 runs into a g4. Was played already. Yeah, and now we can see that not that much time left for the players. Still, 10 seconds increment is something, and by playing a sequence of moves quickly, you can get yourself like an extra minute or two to think of the position. But when every single move comes at with a lot of effort, lot of energy, lot of calculation, then of course...
And now we see that Wesley has less time than young Krzysztof. Suddenly...
So somewhere on the way he has spent his 5 extra minutes, something. Yeah, it was like 5 extra minutes.
Yeah, so he traded his time into a small positional advantage.
Yeah, in a generalized sense, a game of chess, competitive game of chess, not as the mathematical problem, right?
Yes.
To find the best move.
And time is one of the main factors.
So then, in generalized sense, the game of chess is the game of exchanges, right? Not on on the basic level, it's material, right? Like so, we exchange the bishop for the knight, sometimes a minor piece for 3. For 3 pawns, that's one thing. Then sometimes you exchange the space for development. the central position for the safety of your king, this and that. And the time is also a factor, right? I mean, who cares if your position is very good, but it's complex and you're on 30 seconds with no increment?
So it's pure economics.
Yeah, so you have to value, I mean, to understand which factor is more important in this particular case, and to give away one thing just to gain the other. Rook to b8, coming back, because rook will be useful on b8. B takes, b takes. Now it's a time to regroup in some clever way, so that...
Is there some idea... Can I use bishop e4 there? I mean, I'm trying to improve the position of my bishop. No, just king g2 was played by Wesley.
I mean, it's like... There is actually a sort of a threat to put it on c6.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm forcing black to take there, otherwise I'll play.
Yeah, rook d7, and then white no longer has pair of bishops, but the rook on d7 is very nice.
And again, I'm trading the factor of that I have a pair of bishops against pair of bishops and knight against the pair of knights and bishop, but I'm trading this
for the activity
advantage of the rook. So again.
So that was an interesting option, but king g2 apparently doesn't spoil anything, so he keeps the character of the position.
And he keeps the same idea for the next move.
Yeah, knight b6 was played. Knight b6 is... no, I thought it is a pawn sacrifice. Black can take with the rook. It's not a pawn sacrifice. Yeah, of course. I thought bishop b6, rook b6... sorry, bishop b6, bishop b6 takes on e5, but no, he is planning to take with the rook. And the knight is heading towards c4.
Or d5.
Or d5, f4 is another
option, so because I wanted to play bishop c5 and then knight d5 there. So that's why Wesley took on b6.
He takes on b6 anyway, rook b6.
But is there anything concrete? Because otherwise...
A bishop e4? Yeah, bishop e4 trying to play for a blockade. So in... kind of in an ideal world, he wants this knight from f6 to take on e4 and then somehow to keep the blockade and put the bishop, the knight, the remaining knight from f3 to e4.
Maybe there is something like b4. Okay, we have to calculate this variation, probably.
Moving the rook.
But I'm not sure if b4 is a threat of anything.
Bishop d6.
Yes, bishop d6 was played instead of b4.
Tilda, bishop d6, now opting for b4 and then to take it with the bishop.
Yeah, so I mean, creating the threat is more powerful than making a threat immediately.
Rook e2? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Rook e2?
Yes.
So now he can play b4 if he wants.
Yeah, so I'm forcing black to take with bishop there. And now maybe I can create something connected with e5 pawn like bishop
c2 attacking
but
a4,
you have
attacking e5.
e4 and it all comes to tactics.
e4, knight d4 apparently, right? It's not even here, it's not clear. Because there is like a somewhat weird route for the knight to go to h2, f1, g3.
Yes,
attack the pawn.
It may be a bit long.
Knight d4, a6 is a4 is hanging. So
yeah, so it's still, I mean, like white is out of risk, and
yeah, white is still trying. Maybe he will be able to to win the e4 pawn. So 2 minutes 40 seconds left for Wesley So, and I believe Jan Krzysztof Duda is below 2 minutes. I believe this is 1:20 something left for him. Did black play a move? Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Oh wait, did white
Maybe
play?
We can switch for a while to Hikaru.
Let's go to Hikaru's game. So all of a sudden Hikaru's game looks,
wow,
I wanted to say more entertaining, and now I have to add much. So
yes,
it's much more entertaining. A lot of stuff has happened. So apparently at some point Teimur had to take on d6. Rook d2, rook d2, yeah.
The flow of the game, b5, a3. So this was probably the last position we were
analyzing. Before queen e4, I think we still had this one on the board. And here we started to be mildly optimistic for white, yeah?
Yeah.
Queen a7, queen to d3, knight to e4, and he puts the knight on d6. g4, forcing to take. f6, knight here, king f7, f4.
Yeah, so white have the initiative there, but
king e8.
black is still solid.
That's but
okay. It's obviously risky.
Queen d5. Wait, isn't it just like bad?
Maybe I have something like queen e3 right now, and I'm not losing.
Knight g6.
But
now you have.
Is it a threat really? I mean, if I take.
Takes, h takes.
Like I have
it's
it
a
check.
Yeah, king g2.
Like I take there.
Ah, wait, king h3. No,
yeah,
king
h3, and I wanted to repeat it.
Check and then king
g2.
That,
yes.
this was the method. Yeah, check and then king g2. So no more checks, and queen g8 is like.
Yeah, so there is no rook d6 because of at least some checks. So
I mean, this particular one looks lost.
Yeah.
This particular position looks lost.
Okay, so I don't.
And queen e3 was played. Queen e3 was played. So what's his plan after knight g6? Well, as long as he doesn't take, maybe he's.
Yeah, but I think I'm forced to take.
Yeah, it's like I thought.
Oh no, maybe queen g5. We can start with queen g5.
Queen g5, so that
it
if
may be
knight
something
f8,
forced. Maybe something forced. No.
But wait, queen g5. Okay, now g6 played.
No,
knight takes, but then he's just lost.
Yes.
Takes, and then we couldn't
saw
spot.
That this one is just lost.
Queen f4 check, king to h3.
Yes.
Should be a lead for Hikaru Nakamura.
Should be played immediately. Yeah, king
yeah, king h3, and now queen g8 is such a powerful threat, and king f8 you are.
Queen
he
a8.
gets you from the other end. He gives queen a8 check, and
so
then
I
mate.
just have to resign there.
Yeah,
which
okay,
would probably Rajabov will do.
One more check. There is one more. Ah, wait. We missed the check from f1. Wait a second.
Wow.
There is a. we somehow got carried away with those checks. Yeah, we missed the check from f1, and.
But like still, yeah. So it's not so clear.
Rook g2. I checked from.
Yeah, but you know, like Rajabov had 15 seconds. Yeah, queen
Queen
f1.
f1. Okay.
Okay, rook g2 probably should be.
King h4. King h4.
Wow, and there is no checks after queen e1.
h5.
Yes.
Queen e1, king h5, and then he's like mated in one move. If well, that's brilliant.
And after rook d6, I just play probably queen.
Queen f7. Queen f7 and check
F7,
with the King h5.
That's fantastic.
So look at Nakamura's king. I mean, it is getting mated whenever black has a check.
Yeah, we missed it.
Yeah, whenever black has a check, the king is getting mated, but he is the one who mates the black king. Nice game in the end. Nicely played by Hikaru Nakamura. This king's escape to h5 was really, really fashionable. He's leading the match now, +1, so Timur will have to level the score with the white pieces in game 2. By the way, I was just informed that the second game of a tiebreak starts after 10 minutes of the first game, after both first games are finished.
Okay,
so Nakamura is leading 1-0 against Rajabov, so we are switching to Wesley So against Jan Krzysztof Duda, where, e4 pawn is in danger, but at the same time black managed to activate his pieces, and even if e4 pawn is gone, it's like 4 versus 3, but the pawns are doubled, b2, somewhat weak, so
yeah,
I would claim like queen side will most likely just come off.
Yes.
At some point black plays b4 and all the pawns will be
traded,
eliminated, and then you can hardly win this. Well, but
so
we are far behind. I suggest that we watch it from the camera view, because we apparently do not get the moves in time.
Yeah, so probably a bishop f2 there. No, there. Sorry, I just can't see what is happening on the board.
f3, I guess.
Wow, rook c6.
Yeah, he has blundered. Yeah, knight f3, bishop takes f2. Yeah, Jan Krzysztof Duda has blundered heavily. He's a piece down. He's a piece down against Wesley So, and Wesley So continues grabbing all those pawns. Rook f3 was completely lost. Yeah, he could have won the piece back. but it was completely lost back then. And of course, I mean, normally you do not play such positions against Wesley, so with 10 seconds increment, it's just the disappointment of Jan Krzysztof Duda on that after such a nice start. Well, some would say he shouldn't have allowed the tiebreak at all, right?
Yes, yes.
And then now he will be the one who will need the win with white pieces in order to tie this match. So 2 consecutive victories it will be for Wesley. So I have no doubt that
of course
this will be converted.
So let's see how it happened, because the position was
okay.
I can't say it was calm, but
we can't really as for the moment the game has finished. So 1-0 for Wesley So. Same for Hikaru Nakamura. So both Americans winning with the white pieces. And their opponents, Jan Krzysztof Duda and Timur Rajabov, will have the white pieces, but they will have to score in order to tie the match. Yeah, he blundered something very basic. Now that we are checking,
that was
over there.
He took bishop f2
after knight f3. Was there any other move? Like rook d6. You're a pawn down, but you're still alive. Taking on e4, you're still alive, right? Like knight e4, knight d4, rook b6. Okay, maybe not the best position out of them all, but you're still playing.
But
anyhow, Duda went for bishop f2,
which is losing immediately.
Bishop takes c6, rook takes e2, bishop takes b5. The rook is attacked.
Yeah, and after rook c2
there is bishop d3. Or you can take a4 first and then go bishop d1.
Yes.
Alright, so a terrible blunder, and now he finds himself in a must-win situation. I believe we have something like 10 minutes before between those two games, before the second game of this tiebreak will start. So I believe we will use this time to show some ads, to break a little, and then come back a couple of minutes before the start of game number 2. Welcome back, everyone. So we are getting ready, or rather players getting ready for the second game of the tiebreak. Second game, 25 plus 10. If one of the losers of game 1, either Jan Krzysztof Duda or Timur Rajabov, will win, that will mean that the tiebreak continues with short time control 10 plus 10. So far, both of their opponents, both representing the United States of America, Wesley So and Hikaru Nakamura, feeling very, very comfortable.
Now the task of Jan Krzysztof Duda and Timur Rajabov is how it's ironically said to win one game in a row.
Yeah, so we can see the results and possible time controls as well. That's a very nice graphic. So the classical part, which we watched 2 days before and then yesterday, finished in rather quick draws between Nakamura and Rajabov. Then Naka won first game with 25 plus 10 time control, the game that finished some minutes ago. In the second game, if he doesn't lose, then that means the match is over. And no draws just yet for Jan Krzysztof Duda and Wesley So, and in order to keep this match going, Jan Krzysztof is not allowed to make a draw in this game. He has to win in order to level the score against Wesley So. All games were won with white pieces, because for the rapid the colors switch. So in the first game Duda was white, then second game Wesley So was white, but then he was given the white color again. 25 seconds left before the start of the round, so we will watch the starting moves from the camera view, and then when the position on the board will shape up a little, we will go to our analysis board. Okay, so both Wesley So and Hikaru Nakamura are very, very solid with the black pieces, right? Which is, well, on the other hand, Wesley has lost pretty quickly in game 1. So.
But now looks like Wesley is getting in shape.
Yeah, maybe he was up for kind of slower start, and you know those players are usually very, very dangerous. Like if you had a shaky match which you managed to win.
Yes.
Okay, you have to be a good player as well, but all of the players who are present here, they already proved that they're worthy. And then you had a shaky match that you managed to win, and this usually gives you some boost of confidence, and then you might, you know, be up for a very good tournament later on. And
it looks like Timur has chosen the same opening as Hikaru in the previous game, so they're just switching the color, but the opening is still the same.
Bishop, the other line, Bishop went to f4, right? Bishop went to f4, not to g5.
Yeah, so they're just switching the lines. I mean, the lines. I mean, before the game, before the first one today, where Hikaru had the white pieces, he played fifth move g3. Now, then he tried bishop g5, and now Timur tries bishop f4. It looks like just Queen's Gambit is so solid, opening, and it's quite difficult to. I can't say improve, but at least to find even a single small idea for the new game.
Yeah, well, the problem for Rajabov that he no longer is happy with, you know, with slight advantage pressing a little, because he, even though his position was solid in the previous game, he has lost it. So now he will. Normally he should look for, you know, for complications.
Yes.
While Duda and So, I believe they do repeat the line from the previous game. d5, ed5, knight d5. Right?
Yes, but Duda started with a4, right? Did he start with a4 in the game 1?
I don't remember. It's like looks all the same. Castles, right? Ah no, he didn't castle.
Yeah, he played
yet.
a5.
He went knight d2, I guess, or a5, a6. How was it? The position on the board is a5, a6, knight to d2. That's
it
the current.
May be a transposition, probably. Yeah,
that's the current position on the board. And I believe there is like some crazy theory starting with knight f4, if I'm not mistaken. but I have no idea what is the tier. It's like knight f4, knight e4. They're allowed to take.
Looks very, very convincing for black.
No, but they're allowed to take on g2. And of course, I don't remember what's that.
And you mean like king d2,
king f1, bishop h3,
and king g1? No. Yeah, but I mean, knight
yes,
e3 is a
something
threat
like
there.
that.
Like this one, probably.
Yeah, and then knight g5 is a threat, and the bishop on c5 is hanging. If I'm not mistaken, that's a very sharp line, which ends up, like most sharp lines nowadays, analyzed with computer, ends in a draw.
Obviously.
And I believe there were games like that. The question is, I know.
Okay, but we see that Wesley
didn't go for it.
Yeah, he's chosen the very, very calm. Yes, but again he played something like f6.
f6.
I'm not sure that it was played exactly there.
Wait a sec. f6. So in case of queen b3.
Maybe just bishop e6, pretending for some compensation.
If I grab the pawn, queen d7, yeah?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because knight e7, it is a possibility, but it's an awkward move, right?
Right.
And bishop e6 feels much more comfortable. Bishop e6, queen takes on b7, we go queen d7, so that there is a threat of trapping the queen.
So maybe
queen has to go back again, and then maybe like rook b8, or just rook e8, and next move knight f4.
At some point, yeah. Okay. So we'll see. Yeah, but Duty decided not to go for queen b3 there. Probably
knight e4 instead.
He knows this position better.
He went
than
knight
me.
e4 instead. Bishop a7. That's.
But it reminds me game 1 where Wesley decided to go to a7. I mean, the pawn structure
and something didn't work out for him. Yeah.
Yes.
Bishop a7. Now. Queen b3, no, it cannot be right. I thought queen b3, knight g5, but then f2 is hanging. That can't be right.
And maybe now after queen b3, at least I can play knight c7.
Yeah, it could be. I just thought in such positions something connected with d4 is. I'm not sure how do I play it. The castles, you have some annoying moves. Oh, well, c6 is good, yeah. c6 is good, just supporting the knight. d4, you take, and you say, okay, I don't care.
You will take with knights or with...
Yeah, I thought with the... well, if I take with the pawn, the knight on f3 is not doing much.
Yes,
yeah.
knight d4 is...
Knight d4.
more logical.
But then, you know what, then you might actually take on d4, no?
I think in
some positions you do
because we have like c5 square for our knight, and usually I saw a lot of games where white converted this kind of positions into a point. So maybe still the evaluation is like it's
knight
almost equal, but maybe it's a bit easier to play with white.
Right. So at least it means that there will be the game. Because in case of Radjabov and Nakamura, I'm not even sure, because Radjabov went for one of the main theoretical lines of this Queen's Gambit with an early c5, and I believe it started throughout till the very end. So now we have it on the screen.
Because
just let's click it to show what is going on over here.
C takes d5.
D5, d takes, bishop takes.
So I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. C takes d5, Hikaru...
maybe he went for this well-known line, right?
Yeah, takes on d5, takes on d5, e d5,
with this
everything,
one, right?
everything happened. Bishop d3, knight c6, castles, d4...
Yeah, that's what Shakhriyar Mamediyarov
Queen
played.
c2... wait.
Can I play bishop h7 there? I mean...
Well,
maybe
was it? No, that wasn't the line. No, that wasn't the line. That's a check. Check. They give a check. So after c takes d5.
Yes.
After c takes d5, bishop b4 check, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah, but like...
Oh no,
maybe we
or
have
it's
something
not like that.
Okay, I'll try to refresh it once again.
Yeah, I know, d4, right? So how was it? No, that was our analysis. No?
It always was a question for me.
I'm
why
kind of confused. Yeah, now I'm kind of confused because
No,
this
but
cannot be.
I see that the bishop is on b4.
This can, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. That's why I thought it's, yeah, knight after bishop d3. Of course, after bishop d3, he gives a check on b4 first. Yeah, this is how it happens. Yes, he gives a check on b4, so you have to go knight d2 in order not to lose the castle, right? Knight c6 castle and then d4. Finally, we were able to reconstruct this,
Right.
and I remember Hikaru playing this position. So
Yes.
that's absolutely
now,
normal.
yeah.
Check, knight c6, castles d4, queen
Now it's
c2
all
now.
right.
Black captures on e3, bishop e3, and h7, h6. That's...
Yeah, so probably bishop h7 intermediate is not working, right?
He goes to h8 and goes g6.
Yes, it might not be enough. I mean, like if I
Goes
sacrifice,
g6. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
you're getting 3 pawns.
yeah, like I take there because bishop d2. I'm not sure because of queen h6. So that's why, yeah, probably you can start with bishop h5
Bishop
or queen
f5
f6.
or queen f6. Yeah,
so
solidifying
it might not
everything.
be enough, right?
Mhm.
So bishop e3.
Bishop e3, h7, h6, and the knight returns back to f3. Very strange decision by Rajabov, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean he's trying to find some water in the desert, but
Yeah, it's like, I do understand this position is not
so
like
easy as it's
absolutely
seems to be,
equal,
right?
right? But still, in a must-win situation, do you really want to dig in this like symmetrical
Yeah.
structure, or possibly it was? So I'm thinking of, you know, one of the players of this Grand Prix who has already lost, and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, and you know, if he would be in must-win situation, we would definitely see some opposite castles or,
Right.
something. Yeah, you know, so at least to have a push at
Yeah,
winning the game.
even yesterday when he played a game against Radoslav Wojtaszek, he had not so easy endgame for understanding. I mean, he had like a pair of bishops against the bishop and knight, non-symmetrical pawn structure, and he made some. So, in the post-game interview, Radoslav showed us a way how Shakhriyar
He-
could create some problems
Yeah.
against him. So we'll see what will.
Okay, Hikaru is thinking. I'm wondering what's the. I mean, perhaps he is looking for like the most precise way, and it should be known once again. It should be known.
Yeah, bishop
Alright,
g4
bishop
looks very natural.
g4, right? And then what?
Maybe
Bishop-
some positional bishop h7,
yeah,
king
check
h8, and
is
bishop
check
e4.
is clever. King h8, bishop e4, and then once again, I'm trying to.
Like, can you trade
Yeah,
everything
they
on the board?
take. I think that's once again. For some reason, I think that's the line. Bishop takes, knight d4.
Bishop takes, or maybe some weird taking with pawn. Okay,
G takes in order to keep
it's
a
a
pair
bit-
of bishops,
yeah.
but that's apparently too much. Knight d4.
so
and then
maybe
you
we
take.
are forced to
Yeah, I mean,
take.
if you want something, you take
Yes,
on d4,
obviously.
queen d4. You try to grab the pawn on b7.
Or maybe start with rook something d1.
Rook d1. Ah, so that queen b6 rook
d7, yeah.
could be. But once again, it's such a tiny advantage, right? If anything at all.
Yes, but still, I mean, pawn matters. I think pawn matters.
Rook b8. Yeah, it's once again, it might be something forcing. Yeah, I do understand if you keep the pawn on b2, you'll be torturing me till the end of the game. Well, maybe there is like something forcing. Like for instance, if black goes rook d8, gets the queen on second rank, then
Yeah,
then
probably.
and maybe like this, and then attacks f2 and something.
Maybe rook a d1
Maybe
is
rook a d1 is kind of tiny,
more complicated.
tiny bit more.
I mean, just our idea is to give black a choice.
Queen c5, for instance, and then you do. No, then you take.
And then I take and play rook
Then
d7.
you take. Yeah, I've forgotten about rook d7.
Like, still you can play rook bd8, rook a d8, sorry. And maybe I can
Wait,
play
you could take on b7 first, and then after rook b8 he goes. Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
take
yes.
with the bishop. Maybe
Yes.
it was a bit more precise because this way you allow rook d2, and
Yes.
I don't like allowing rook d2.
Right.
So bishop b7. If black goes rook b8, then it's
yeah,
rook
this
d7.
one is more accurate, I agree.
Then it's rook d7. If black goes rook d8, we can put the bishop on d5, for
Yes.
instance.
So
And
now
this
we
is
now
suffering.
we see some opportunities for white.
This is a lot of suffering, and he isn't even guaranteed that this will be a draw. Bishop Okay, bishop went to g4, and I think Radjabov still didn't make a move. Yeah. In most of those cases, you do give a check on h7 first, so that the king is on h8, and there are some mating threats. The f7 pawn is hanging in some lines. That is a very typical.
So it's well known
very
from
typical
all old books. I think.
Very typical inclusion. So first you give a check, drive the king in the corner, and then you play bishop e4.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I was very hasty taking on f3. Maybe some move like rook c8 is just fine.
You mean like check, king h8?
Yeah, king h8, bishop e4, and some rook c8. I mean, it's so symmetrical. Rook d1, queen goes to f6 or something.
Yeah, so at least you have
b3.
like bishop e6. Continue annoying my queen, right? Disturbing.
So it's still very likely that there is kind of a forcing way for Naka to equalize. And Teimur is spending his time, once again, it might be too late. The position is too dry, simply. So I suggest we go back to Duda and Wesley Saw, just to see if... Oh, well,
and then
there
we have some entertaining
stuff. Yeah, some conflict at least.
Yeah.
So what has happened was indeed queen b3 on move 11, knight e7, and a simple castle short. I think we were talking about this one, and then instead of c6, black went with king h8.
Yeah, my proposal was to play c6.
c6, and then we said d4, and if like takes happens,
and maybe this one is better for white, slightly better.
Probably is better for white. Maybe black doesn't have to take, but then still white is somewhat more active.
Yes.
So this might have been something. So black decided against it. He went with king h8,
yeah, h3,
h3,
and b5.
And b5.
Take and
what's
take
that? Takes.
So if this position would be black to move, they will immediately play b5.
Solve like all the issues. Bishop takes a6. Can it ever be the move?
Maybe
Bishop b8, right? I mean, I suspect that's the whole idea.
But maybe there is still some compensation. I mean, I can take on c. Yes, but after this, it's quite difficult to find a place for the bishop on the board.
Bishop e6.
Yeah,
right.
bishop e6.
But still,
probably it may be traded somehow.
Not clear what white is. Yeah, what's real compensation is.
Yeah,
white gets the bishop, the pawn, but yeah, I was first hopeful.
I'm sure at least young Krzysztof will consider this kind of opportunity. So,
because otherwise it feels like you will have to move. I mean, you have to move backward. Like you have to move the queen after b5. You'll have to play bishop b3. Yes. Black puts the bishop on b7. All of a sudden, getting very, very attractive position. So it could as well be that he has to go for it.
Yes, I don't
Which
think
is
anything
kind of
else.
sad, yeah?
Yeah, so d4.
He went for d4, e takes d4 was played.
Yes. Yeah, so f5 was a bit risky there, because I can just play there. Maybe.
No, g5,
or h6.
I don't know, h6 looks extremely risky.
Yeah, maybe I can take knight e5, h takes g5, and
bishop
I can play
takes
bishop
g5.
g5.
Yeah, this
and
looks
it's all pins.
Looks terribly risky, and
like b5. If it's not losing immediately, then it will be a good move. But
it might just lose immediately. Knight g6.
Oh,
check.
there is a very beautiful tactics, I think.
Knight g6 check, and you have to go. Yeah, you cannot go to g8 because knight e7, so you have to go to h7, where
the rook first.
White takes the rook on f8 with a check.
Yeah, so f5 was very, very risky, and okay, we cannot expect this kind of move from Wesley.
He takes on d4, knight takes d4, and b5. So once again, the question what to do here, And the answer is move the bishop, right?
Yes, but comparing, I mean, these two games, I mean, between Young Krzysztof and Wesley and Timur against Hikaru, I like Young Krzysztof's approach.
So that he's trying, yeah?
Yeah.
He's trying. Okay, bishop to d3. And now, yeah, like it's still somewhat uncomfortable, right? So, well, your desirable square...
there is still some weaknesses in...
That's what I wanted to say. Like your desirable
Black's
square for
camp.
this bishop, you want to play bishop b7, but then knight e6,
Yes.
of course, happens.
Yes, and you cannot play bishop d7 because the a6 pawn is hanging somewhere, maybe exactly on the very next move. So, there's still some work to do for Black to equalize.
Can he take...
On d4?
That's the question, yeah. Like, can he take on d4? That will be
I
some
think
very strange isolated position.
Yes,
yeah.
but I think
Isolate
that's
pawn
what
position.
Young Krzysztof is expecting. I mean, like, we're controlling
Knight
c5 square, we have a pair of bishops.
But
It might be better.
might be once again forcing, it's like knight f5. So, I do understand if you develop everything,
Yeah.
white is better, but maybe like knight f5 and there is seemingly no comfortable way to protect the d4
Yeah,
pawn.
I'm thinking about sacrificing this pawn in some line, but not so clear.
Not so
Yeah,
clear how to
maybe
do it, yeah.
95 is a very
not easy, yeah?
very,
It's
very,
an annoying
very,
move,
very
yeah?
good adjustment.
Very annoying move.
Yes.
And Wesley's capable, of course, of finding those annoying moves. So if this works tactically, he will definitely go for it. On the other hand, maybe it's once again it's matter of preference because this optically looks nice, yeah. But on the other hand,
he played
yeah,
b4.
he didn't. He played b4, planning to trade even more stuff. What's b4?
So it's like a pass. I can improve my pieces.
Sort of, yeah. Sort of.
Maybe I can start with rook fd1.
Rook to d1.
I mean, the only problem for white is where
the
we
bishop,
have to...
the bishop on
black
c1 is
yeah.
terrible. Just imagine this bishop somehow went on g3 in the previous stage of the game. Yeah, it will be very close to winning.
Yeah.
Be very close to winning for white. But being as it is, it's not so simple. The queen is not... well, does queen come to the king side? Like
Queen
queen
d1.
d1. Okay, that's nah. Shouldn't be serious. In
Very-
terms of
a
ideas...
very artful move.
In terms of ideas, I mean, this is something you want to do. I mean, after all, you have to win this game. Yeah. But then he takes and plays bishop f5.
Yeah, maybe.
And now he's rock solid.
We're improving your
Yeah. Bishop f5.
initial idea. Yeah.
Very solid position.
Yes, but you know, like b4 is weakening the a6 pawn in this exact position. And maybe, yeah, I can say that b4 is a certain improvement of
Yeah, it's
position. I mean,
more or less any other move would allow the same. On queen d1,
Yes,
you still
yes,
take
yes.
and go bishop f5. It's not like... Yes, it's not that easy to understand what exactly
yes, I mean, like
he wants to do.
comparing to this position, b5 pawn looks more accurate than b4. So that's why I consider b4 as a very, very ambitious.
Very ambitious move indeed. And rook d1 was played, I believe. Rook d1 was played. Yeah, if he ends up taking on d4 anyway, that it feels like a waste of time.
Yes.
Because now our idea taking on d4 going knight f5 is no longer any attractive. White plays bishop c4. So not only you gave white the time to go rook d1, but you also cleared the square on c4 for the bishop. Not really sure if it was...
Maybe Wesley's idea was to play rook ba there. Try to disturb somehow.
Wait, can he... no, this is not how chess is played, right? I thought taking on c3 twice. This is definitely not what you want to do.
Well,
Being 1-0 up
yes.
and then needing a draw, yeah? Because you do win the pawn, it seems. I don't see how you're not winning the pawn.
But it's very concrete, and
but it gives white a tremendous initiative.
Yeah, maybe I have to take
knight
with...
takes, yeah?
Yes, knight takes, probably.
Knight takes, and then...
Maybe queen?
Yeah, but my problem with... after queen takes d4, my problem was bishop a3, strangely.
You mean just leaving this pawn?
Yeah, I mean, who cares? Yeah, no longer those pawns are...
Okay, maybe I have something like this. Sorry, king h2? Yeah, but I didn't want to allow some bishop b8, but...
yeah, king h1.
But king h1, like, I saw something like bishop h3 at least.
Ah. Yeah, it's like the king is left alone, yeah. I agree.
It might be something there for black, because...
I agree.
Yeah, but
okay, bishop e3 was
e3
also possible.
Yeah, but again, I mean...
then it leads to simplifications, yeah, some queen e5.
Yeah, like, I see the same configuration as in Rajabov.
All of a sudden,
yeah.
Queen e5, and then white is apparently not worse. He should be able to win this pawn back, but how he's...
Black should hold this one, I mean...
Yeah, how white is supposed to win the game, nobody knows. Okay, so rook d1, b takes c3, b takes c3 is on the board.
Yeah, so I think Wesley will calculate any simplifications right now.
bc3, bc3, well...
And knight c3 is a kind of...
He might include rook b8 here, right? It's like we start with rook b8. That's
yes,
what he did. I mean, I'm not sure he's taking on c3.
You mean like he's not going to take at all?
Yeah, it's not clear. Yeah, because...
the idea that after queen c2, maybe I can take bishop d4.
You can do this, yeah.
And this one positionally is quite solid for black, and I'm sure that they're just maybe slightly better because of d5
the blockade
square.
on d5,
yeah,
the bishop on c1
yeah.
is not
the
once again not that great.
Okay, but it's around equal still.
So queen c2, the most natural move, is sort of not available. Once again, to remind our viewers that white needs a win in this game. So queen c2 is not the move you play. You probably end up playing queen a3, which might be not bad, because at least now knight c3 doesn't really, or shouldn't really work, because I take with the knight and
knight is hanging
the additional thing of this knight on e7 is hanging. So knight takes,
but maybe still like
knight takes, and to take with the bishop, right? No, because queen d4, I thought it's very simple. I just take the knight and f rook f8.
I thought maybe I have the same idea. I mean, taking on f2,
and
king h1, and bishop
h3.
Yeah, the idea that bishop e4 is not working because of this one.
Aha, that's nice. Then you're actually right, because I will have to play queen e4, right?
Which is probably a good compensation for black. I mean, like I can add something like rook b4, and.
White is compensation. I know that there is a slight problem with this line queen h7 mate after rook b4.
Yes, you're right.
I thought it's brilliant, rook b4, and I was very happy for Daniil. He found a brilliant tactic: queen f3, bishop g2 check, and then
yeah, but maybe I can simplify playing.
Yeah, but then queen f3. Then I thought it's queen f3. It's once
yes,
again,
but how to evaluate this one?
Very concrete.
How to evaluate
you mean
this
if the queens are traded?
But in this case, f5 obviously is not a good move there, because I'm creating some weaknesses for myself. Oh yeah, I'm not playing for mate in this exact position. I think so, because at least the a6 pawn is hanging, and bishop h3 not feeling good, because the next move can be like king h2. So that's why. Yeah, like.
And wait, and the last move was bishop takes h3, right?
Yes.
And
yeah, I mean, like rook is hanging, so that's why we have to do something first.
Yeah, and also we are a piece down, which is sad, because
yes.
I thought bishop c5, but then queen e2. What we are left with? No, so probably he cannot do this after queen a3. Honestly, I still don't see a clear refutation after knight c3, knight c3, bishop d4.
And by the way, I see that queen a3 was played by Jan Krzysztof.
Queen a3 is played, yeah?
Yeah.
Queen is on a3. Wesley is thinking. It is annoying, this queen on a3. As long as you cannot... Yeah, you cannot play bishop b7. Bishop d7 feels wrong. I mean, at least white takes the pawn. So there is a feeling, to be honest, that he was, he was betting at this simplification, and then there is a chance that he misjudged it, miscalculated it. So one more time, can we look at this line? Knight takes, queen d4, queen e7. Is it all correct? Check.
Maybe there is something else. I mean, instead of queen f7, maybe something
bishop
simpler.
e3. Yeah, actually, bishop e3.
Yeah, bishop e3, but I saw that.
Queen d7.
And something like bishop somewhere from d3.
I mean, this somewhere might be taking on h7, after which white is better. Probably.
Yes. So probably.
Wesley. Yeah, so
Wesley is not ready.
Yeah, this capture on c3 is not an option. Yeah, it's like in this other line. I don't remember what the other line was.
Maybe like instead of rook b8, taken on c3 immediately.
Here we were taking on c3.
And in this position, bishop on a7 is
protected with the rook, and as well the knight on e7 is not hanging.
Yeah.
So strangely enough, this inclusion of rook b8 might be in white's favor.
Yeah.
Might be in white's favor. Okay, but still, it's too early to say that white has got like great advantage or something. It's still the game, right? I mean, one of the ways for black would be to take on d4, and then wait, what I was thinking. No, somehow this is annoying once again. The knight gets on c5 or on d6. In some positions, white just takes the pawn on a6, says, okay, it will be tough to win, but it is an extra pawn.
Yeah, so now black is the side who has to be patient and...
Wait, something
has changed?
I think he...
Did he took on d4?
Yeah, I don't see, and we are not getting updated with the moves, right?
Okay, I'll try to do it once again.
Now that's our analysis. You see, let's switch to Hikaru's game, and then
we'll switch it back.
By the way, Hikaru's game, as you can see, that's meh. That's absolutely equal. Bishop h7 and bishop e4, rook c8, and bishop f5. Then is it all correct? By the way.
I mean, like he didn't play bishop b5 immediately because of bishop takes f3 probably. But obviously rook c8 is not a useless move for black. So I mean, like,
why on earth black is like worse at all? Like takes.
Yeah, so let's check
takes
the simplifications.
Queen a5.
Yes.
Queen a5. It's like you have some pieces around black king, but they are not too many.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe the most that you'll have that perpetual,
queen,
like playing queen h3.
Queen h3, then sacking a bishop on h6 and coming up with a perpetual. That's a maximum.
Maybe I can force you somehow to take on
to
h6.
do it. Yeah. I mean, you can keep trading, like going knight e5, for instance.
No, but
I mean, or this is the way to actually get into some trouble after bishop d4. Who knows?
Yeah, but I take with check.
Yeah, queen takes, b7's hanging. I thought like maybe there is a little something. Maybe there is nothing.
Is like almost nothing.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, bishop c5 takes, queen takes, and then rook b8 in case of capture on b7.
Yes, okay, you still can play bishop c3, but then I'll play queen b6 and f6 probably. I mean, just to be sure.
No, such positions, I mean, with modern level of, of defense, they are practically impossible to win, because white has the, the pressure, the initiative, and usually how do you lose this position with black? You keep defending passively, and then it forces your pieces back and back and back, and the right way is, as we had in a couple of variations, you sacrifice in the right moment, sacrifice one pawn, you activate your pieces, and you get absolutely drawish. I mean, okay, you're a pawn down, but it will be absolutely drawish rook endgame, or like endgame with the queens on the board,
or offering the trades. I mean, like queen e5. Yeah, so it's hard to believe that Rojabov
but Naka is thinking he still didn't capture on f5. Does he look for
knight e5? No. Or knight g4? No, but queen
knight
c8.
d4, queen c8. Yeah, knight e7, bishop c8. Well, technically he can try to take on f3, right? I mean, I don't know why would you consider this? But like taking, I don't know. Does it make sense or not? Bishop f3, I mean, some line like that. Bishop f3 takes on c8, queen c8, and then queen to h3.
Yeah, but queen e4 probably.
Queen
f5 you mean that?
e4 or bishop d6.
Maybe you can play this one.
f5 is the move, yeah. Bishop d6 was also kind of, I know, then f4.
Yeah, f4.
Then f4. f5.
Yeah, maybe this is a good line for black, because after queen e4, I can try... No, but queen g3 is a threat. So maybe I'm not in time.
Yeah, maybe black is not in time, but my point is that black doesn't really need to complicate.
Yeah.
I mean, if it would be, once again, if the other position would be somewhat problematic, but you just, looks like you just take on f5 and make a draw like that.
So, yeah.
Bishop takes, queen takes.
Yeah, how it was.
And queen a5 was played, yes. So we've guessed all the moves here. Queen f5, and it's kind of getting too little. I mean, white's advantage, if there is any, it's kind of getting too little.
Yeah, I'm very surprised with Timur's opening choice.
Yeah, it's like practically not trying really. Once again, there is always an explanation that I was expecting one line and my opponent went for the other line, so we cannot like blame the place. It's very easy to criticize while not playing chess. That's understandable. But yeah, the game looks like, you know, one of those round robin games when you're around 50% in the cross table, and then you think, okay, I'll have a couple of whites in the next 3 rounds, and let me try a little. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't look like a knockout game when you actually have to score, have to fight for your life in this tournament. And okay, so we leave it until it's over or something terrible happens, because for this game to become like intriguing, to become interesting, something has to happen. Like Naka has to misplay it badly.
At least something.
Yeah. And let's watch Duda against Wesley, where things are not entirely clear.
So maybe it's almost the same that we were considering.
Bishop d4 was taken. C takes, knight to c6. Bishop c4, knight cb4, queen g3. Okay, at least he's getting the queen in the right zone. Rook b6.
But I think this one is slightly better for white and probably doable.
Should be. Should be.
At least he tries.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's still tricky, right? But
maybe we should try to change the knights playing bishop d2.
Knight c2. Bishop a5 is there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, knight c2, rook c1 first, takes on d4, and bishop a5. Yeah.
I mean, because I didn't like bishop e3 because of a5. But by the way, maybe there is still some idea. I mean, playing bishop a3 and after a5 just
moving it back, so the pawn is on a5.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but he started with knight c5.
Knight c5,
which one is also logical.
One of the, say, logical moves, because
it's a kind of prevention against bishop f5. I mean, like
presses the a6 pawn, prevents bishop. Well, sort of prevents bishop f5, because it looks like the pawn can be captured simply. It's not a pleasant task for Wesley, so I believe he would prefer something easier to hold. Any knight jumps? Knight c2, where the rook is going. Knight c2. I mean, honestly, I have no idea whatsoever what my threat is. I mean, apart from taking the rook, like you go rook a2, right?
Yes, but sometimes it may be enough.
Rook a2.
Yeah, so yeah, probably I'm not
and
blundering.
And then
anything.
some jumping, no jumping allowed.
Yes, because if you move back, I'll play rook e2.
Yeah,
and
of course, that's a serious improvement. No,
like
by jumping I meant like going with the other knight,
yes,
rook b2 and taking on d4, but it doesn't work, it seems. because you just randomly attack this. And no, there is a rook d6, right? I mean, bishop e3. No.
Yes, bishop e3 probably.
Bishop e3.
No, maybe I'm no knight e2, no knight e3.
No knight f3. Knight c6.
Knight c6
should not hold as well.
I don't think so, really.
But who knows? Wait, we take on d4 this moment. Rook takes d4 here.
And we have like 2 minor pieces for the rook?
Knight takes rook b6, yeah.
Maybe it's something like knight e5 intermediate.
Queen b8.
Wow.
So this... Okay, queen b6, bishop d4. Black is still kind of in the game, yeah, but white is...
Yes,
white should
obviously,
be winning.
yes.
White should be winning.
Oh.
No?
I would say that this one is
It's not
better, but
not as clear.
I think it's quite difficult to win this one because...
Yeah, I just saw too many pieces and white will be able to create some attack. But who knows? This pawn, sometimes those A pawns, they are running very fast, yeah. And then we've seen many examples where one side was better but the other side won. Yeah. Because white was, you know, like regrouping the pieces.
Even in this tournament.
Yeah. White was regrouping the pieces and then meanwhile this pawn will go A4, A5, A3, A5, A4, A3.
Yeah, so let's check
the right order.
What happens in the game?
In the game, wait, the knight is on c5. Black has played a couple of moves, yeah?
Yeah, so the...
Queen a3, bishop d4, takes, knight c6, bishop c4. All that was played. Remember, knight c b4, queen g3, rook b6. He went knight c5. Then I don't see. I've seen the queen on d6, but once again, it's a pity the board doesn't update. I don't know what we can do about it. Can we get a camera view on this one? Yeah, let's say from this angle, it's fine.
Probably queen d6, queen e3.
Queen d6, queen to f3, rook to d8. This seems to be the case here. Still, if white finds a job for this bishop from c1, he's like much better. But now it's a bit trickier because now bishop d2, black does have knight c2 and then d4 is hanging with the tempo.
Like, you know...
He went to a3, I believe. Oh, no. I'm wrong. He did play some move, but... Yeah, it's very hard to follow it like that. Very hard to follow it like that. Bishop b3, guarding c2 square. This might be a very clever move.
Yeah, it's a wise move, really.
So bishop here, no knight c2 is allowed. Then
what to do?
Dark square bishop will go to d2, perhaps.
I think that's... Black can face some lack of moves, really.
Yeah, you're actually right. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking, maybe it's hard to point out the threat white has, but at the same time, you think of, well, I mean, just go one by one. The king side, like f to h file, is you don't want to touch, right? You don't want to play king g8. You don't want to touch your pawns. Then somehow the bishop doesn't have all that attractive squares, right? It will be taken if you go with bishop b7, bishop d7.
Did West play their bishop e6, allowing white to take on e6?
Could be.
Yes, but after knight takes and rook a5, it looks like it's very, very dangerous for black. I mean, okay, still you have some rook b5, but...
rook b5 might be...
But at this moment, maybe I can take and play bishop d2 and
bishop d2,
pinning everything. But knight c6, yes.
And then rook e1.
Rook e1 and yeah, and I take on d5 and probably is just a win.
Once again,
okay,
yeah, let's show this line.
Okay, you can play like queen f7 probably, but I don't believe that.
It's not yet winning. Yeah?
I don't believe that this position.
It's not yet winning.
May hold.
Yeah, this bishop on... once again, just look at this bishop on d2. We can't really Can't really make it.
Maybe there. I mean, like taking. I mean, instead of taking on e6, maybe there is something. But bishop e6 is played only with the idea to play bishop g8 next.
Yeah, you want to play bishop g8 and just to solidify the king position and as well to guard the d5 square. 1 second. If we take first, we take on e6 and we go bishop d2 first instead of rook a5. I don't know what difference does that make.
Yeah, for example,
here,
I just follow the same idea.
e1. Now rook e1 you can actually take on d4, and this is something I'm starting not to like. Can you? Or it's not. Yeah, it's not clear.
Like maybe there is something like
queen d5. Oh, dear me, what's that? Yeah. Does look like a nice tactical solution.
Yes, but it's still unclear. I mean, I can take
queen takes, bishop takes, knight c2, bishop a5. Oh,
and white wins.
What a mess! White wins in the end. Yeah, white wins in the end. A lot of lines.
Yeah. So starting with bishop d2 is probably. So
he made a longer move. So I don't know what.
He didn't take on e6.
He went to e4. It seems.
But
no, he went rook e1,
bishop
g8,
and rook e4.
Rook e4.
It has some sense. I mean, probably he just wants to mate his opponent.
But it will be hard though with the bishop on g8.
Or probably his another idea is to
like
double on
bishop d2
e5
and then to double, and then to to get somewhere.
Yes.
Like queen h5, rook e8, something.
Also, we shouldn't forget about ideas connected with h4, h5.
Yeah, in some cases. Okay, what's the time for Wesley? So looks like Duda is on 3 minutes,
or
if
5.
I'm not mistaken.
Or 5.
5 for Wesley, so 5 for Black. That's I'm sure 5:20 or something. And Duda is on somewhat lower time. Meanwhile, just quickly, click on Rojavov Nakamura. Is there anything?
Whoa. But
well,
nothing special, really.
Yeah, but something is attacked on this board, which is already a lot.
Yes, but if it really makes sense, I mean,
rook e2, rook e4,
rook e4. Maybe there is some idea. I mean, after rook e4, try to do something
kind of
crazy.
Distract the queen.
Yeah, distract the queen and play knight g5.
Play knight g5. Take on f7 and then
yes, and
this is where the mess starts.
Yes,
yeah.
And probably.
So perhaps you just go rook e2 instead. Yeah.
So now at least we see the threat for white.
Rook
or
e2. We assume this is
playing for black. We found the threat for ourselves.
So what's here? What happens if you do
the same?
Strangely, yeah.
Maybe king g8. And somewhere I can defend the f7 pawn with queen e2, or which is still unclear.
Well, at least it is unclear,
Yes.
At least it is unclear.
At least it became unclear in game 4. I mean,
just like here in this position. Okay, let's just. We are free to analyze a4. Yeah, if black is...
it's principle to take there, otherwise b5 and it's not
let's take. Queen takes.
Obviously it's an improvement.
And the idea was to go knight g5, yeah?
So rook e6.
Rook e6, somehow we missed this move.
Yeah.
Missed this move completely. Rook to e6. Forcing... Okay,
yes,
or trying to force.
But still, I play there. Now I have a tempo. Maybe you can... Okay, but queen c4...
Yeah, wait, but he captures, goes rook f6 on knight g5.
And it doesn't work for us.
I have no idea. Knight g5, you have queen d7, for instance. Maybe it does work.
Or maybe it doesn't.
Rook d8, knight f7, king g... you take...
No, but white has an initiative there. I think so. I have a couple of...
No, this way I just take on d6, go
yeah, rook d6 and white probably wins.
Probably. Once again, it's always it's always we are reluctant to you know to come up with like strict evaluations. There are always room for mistake, but
yes, but I mean, like practically a4, I think, is an only chance to.
Yeah, what else do you do? It's like, well, you perhaps with a little help of your opponent, you got somewhat lucky. You do have.
If a4 is the only chance to force Hikaru to think, I mean, because rook e6 was played almost automatically.
So once again, let's try a4. And what we said,
There,
if he doesn't want to
there
take,
is no squares on the 5th rank.
yeah,
Queen c4 is at least a bit illogical, because I can take and play b5 and
the game is going.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
probably. So well, at least first thing you try is of course
Yes.
taking on a4. Right?
Then we play knight g5 probably.
Then we said knight g5. Once again, our point is that if you take on d6, knight f7 is a fork. Yeah. And then you know what? And then he takes on d1, and we are very very sad.
Wow.
Then he takes on d1. So that queen rook d1, obviously it's mate on the back rank. Knight e6 we take on d6 with a queen. Knight f7 per se is not such
that's a strong argument, obviously.
not such a big of a threat, yeah. And
Yeah, so I mean, like
check king g8.
king g8.
I mean knight
Yes,
h6.
but you can take with rook even, because there is no queen b3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're right, and a4 is not working because of queen a4, knight g5, and queen d1.
Queen
Just a
takes
very
d1,
nice
yeah.
tactical blow. So rook e6,
And we actually had it in all the other lines.
probably.
With rook on e4, with rook on
Unfortunately,
e2, we had it in all the
Yeah,
other
so
lines.
bishop f8.
Bishop f8, rook f8.
No,
But this will be very tough. I mean, if ever possible, not even to win, but to create something. Yeah. ba5. Come on, Timur. Queen a5.
yes, but I mean, like, isn't it better to offer a draw immediately?
No, I mean he
Okay, he has to
wants
play.
try.
He
He
has
has
to
to play. But how do you play it?
Maybe rook d7.
Rook d7. Yeah.
I mean, with an idea to take on f7, but
Yeah,
still,
but
I mean,
knight e5. I mean, this is like
there.
this is, or
No,
then
the
you at least
a3
you're
pawn is
taking.
defended.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least then you take and take. It's like I'm honestly I'm
I-
not sure if
I-
you win it.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I think I
Take
can this one.
a3, rook f7.
Again. Do we miss anything?
But just take.
Yeah, okay, I'll take.
Queen e6 and something. Queen e7.
Yeah, queen e7, which is very, very solid. Yes.
So it's very, very likely that Hikaru is. I mean, it was likely right after the opening, but now it's like 99% chance, 99.99, and a lot of
Yeah, Timur
nines.
probably will blame himself after this game. I mean,
Okay,
recognizing the opening that he played.
rook to d7 is on the board. We said queen a3. I'm still looking for kind of more convincing way.
I mean, you mean to
Just
have
to, you
everything
know,
symmetrical,
to
right?
neutralize all the possible. Well, I have rook e7 if I want. I mean, maybe this.
I
is
take queen d7, queen e3.
rook e7. Why do I play rook e7? I'm supposed to improve my pieces, not to make them worse. King g8 improves the position. No,
Kind of.
this kind of does. But the problem is that you take on b7, and when I take on
A rook f7, right?
yeah, there is
Whoa.
still a tactic. There is always a
That's
tactic.
beautiful.
Rook takes f7. Yeah.
Yes.
Then the rook on e6 is hanging. If king f7, there is knight g5, which might as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so
thought.
okay, we can say that it's unclear, but
Just
you have to
just
be patient every time.
Tiny bit annoying. Yeah, rook is on d7. Rook f6, by the way. Rook f6. Well, that's clever. He did play it. So removing the rooks. No knight g5s with a tempo. Now he is ready to take on a3. And he frees the rook from f8 now, so that the other rook protects f7. So
Yeah, so Hikaru looks very, very confident right now. I mean,
Yeah, well, sometimes it happens to him that, you know, he's kind of getting a bit drowsy when the position is like, so drawish, so boring. Because, I mean, it's like a couple of losses against Magnus Carlsen comes from this, like relaxing, just
work till the end.
Tiny bit too early. But on the other hand, you know, in Rapid, that's Hikaru's format. He feels the nerve of such games very well. So I don't see Rajabov having a chance here. And is it like last minute for Timur Rajabov? I guess.
Yes, I think it's like 30 seconds.
30 seconds left, and I believe it's like within a move or two we will see, you know, a draw.
Yeah, maybe we should switch to Duda because
their
game
was of course. This other game is full of blood.
Much entertaining. Wow, and probably, Young Krzysztof has an extra pawn.
So what happened? We had seen it after rook e4, right? a5.
Yeah, rook e4, a5.
a5, bishop d2, fine. Knight c6, bishop. Knight c6.
Yeah, so there is no way how to defend this pawn, right? And why Young Krzysztof didn't take it immediately? Okay, probably he improved his position, but why not rook a5 immediately? Maybe we're missing something, but just in case, I mean.
He decided not.
Knight c6. That's correct question.
Knight c6, then takes on d4. That's why.
Yeah,
a5, knight c6.
By the way,
this game is finished. It's a draw. Hikaru is through to round 2.
And he will face, as I remember, Daniil Dubov.
Bishop c3, rook a1. No, rook a1 wasn't played. Yeah.
Yes, but
rook b8, bishop to c2, knight d b4. This tiebreak might continue.
Yeah, so now we're
on the other hand, wait, the bishop is hanging, bishop d5. I want to say a threat, but who knows? It leaves the king, you know.
So the question number 1, can white save the next pawn?
Is it hanging? You mean like if he takes on b4?
Yes.
Or
plays bishop d5.
Bishop, wait, the bishop is... If I go bishop b1...
You like bishop d5?
Bishop d5 and I go queen h5, let's say.
Like just for compensation?
Yeah, but...
maybe I can start with g6 there.
And he probably should.
No,
probably should.
Yes, but now I'm weakening this pawn as it's not so clear at all. Yeah, so g6. Okay, I'll try g6.
It's like a lot of interesting lines we can analyze that, but I'm afraid now we are getting to the point where when they will be playing on seconds, and possibly it is a better format that if we go full screen on the board, just to see how much time players have, and
so
still a couple of minutes for both of them, and a lot of stuff has happened. Well, queens came off the board. That's that's a bit unpleasant sign. Usually,
you mean
for white?
Yes.
For white, yeah. I mean, you still can try to convert this extra pawn, but this. I mean, one of the factors was that white could create some threats on the king side. So how did it happen? I mean, again, we are not getting updated with the moves. He went queen f4. Now I dig it. He went bishop a4. In the position where the bishop was hanging, he went bishop a4, and after bishop d5, he simply saved the exchange.
Yes, but probably it was the only way to save the pawn.
Yeah, could be. All right, so takes. But then it's so awkward. Your rook on f4 is weird, right?
Yes, I think that
rook on e4
probably
is weird.
Black has full compensation of
h6.
Yeah, but
he played h6.
Yeah, rook g4 was an idea to play rook g3 and return it to
E3. Return back. So now, is knight d3 a move?
Trying to simplify everything. I think I can take there. Like you take and I play knight e4, and so my d pawn can be
it's like I'm not in time.
A decisive factor.
I'm not in time to block it. and I'm very sad.
Yeah, it's like tactically, if you play bishop f7, I just play d5,
Yeah,
and I have like knight g6 all the time.
Knight g6, yeah, that's clear.
So it's still intriguing.
Knight a2.
So knight a2. Yeah, sorry, rook g4, knight a2.
Knight went to a2.
Was played by Wesley.
Bishop. Where the bishop is going, yeah, that's once again not clear.
Maybe d2.
Yeah, you probably want bishop d2, yes.
Yeah, because our bishop e1 looks a bit ugly. But you know, like
bishop d2, yes.
Maybe h5.
And rook b2. No, Wesley is going for, you know, for the initiative. In such
maybe
positions,
it's time to take on c6 because the knight on a2 is a bit misplaced.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a pity we don't have an attack of our own. We are seemingly not in time, yeah. So rook b2. Wait, takes rook.
Or maybe
e7,
I can start with
it's
bishop
never,
e3.
yeah.
I mean,
bishop e3.
because I can take on.
Yeah, we can still
time.
take later on. Yeah, but then we might come to this position. Knight c3 takes on c6, takes on c6, and then black installs this knight on d5. And will we be able to win? I'm not sure. Because he's also getting quite active and solid at the same time. The knight on d5 kind of cements the whole thing.
Wow.
Bishop h6 was played by Duda.
Tremendous.
Bishop c6, bishop c6. Okay. That's... I mean, and rook e6.
That's a beautiful decision.
Yeah, I don't know if it works, but that's a beautiful decision. And that's very logical.
Yes, because
yeah, till certain degree, because black misplaced his knight, his rook is far from the king's side.
On the queen side, and we are.
So rook e6.
I think, I don't know the evaluation, but
h5.
It looks quite
h5.
natural. Maybe simply rook f4
or g3
or g3.
Because I thought you want to keep the king.
Yes. Maybe you're right.
Rook f4 also makes sense. So you're essentially saying, I'm not trying to mate you, I'll just, you know, like collect as many pawns as possible, but he plays rook g3. So now the bishop has to go.
I don't know if knight c1
Knight c1 with
a chance.
With knight e2 threat. That's funny.
And you know, like there is.
Well, actually, it's a very annoying move.
And you know, like it's maybe Wesley doesn't want to take on. I know he wants to take on g3, obviously. Yeah, rook e1, rook e1 is too long. Yeah, so but this one is still I think it's still playable
for white.
Yeah, because otherwise I play rook a2 if you take with pawn.
It's kind of playable, but I don't think you can win it.
Yeah, maybe some checks are. Knight c1 is played by Wesley, by the way.
Knight c1. So after all, I have to agree that probably your rook f4. No, on rook f4 he would go knight c3, right?
Yeah, but I can play knight c1 still, I think.
No, but knight c1 still. Yeah, I was hoping to take
rook
the pawn on f6,
right.
But then one of the let's leave it. We have the other position on the board. All right, so with some tricks, Wesley's bringing. I mean, that's very important tempo. Knight c1 and the threat of a check on e2. Because otherwise his position.
I don't see how white can avoid it. Maybe, yeah, but rook g6 is.
Feels not right.
It's like
I don't know why, but it feels not right. And okay, I can give you the reason why. Knight e2 check. We can.
Yeah, but you know, like at least rook g6 is like we confirm that we lost the tempo.
No, knight e2 check and knight f4.
Yes. I mean, even if you hadn't this.
Or maybe my line doesn't work. I don't know.
You mean like check and rook ef6? Yes. Yeah, but still, I mean, no, rook g3, rook g6 is at least logical. So probably rook c6.
Rook takes c6.
Knight e2,
and now I claim that this is not
king.
possible to win. Let's find out if it's.
No, I think it's possible to win.
Right.
Because knight is a very, very dangerous weapon, and all blitz players know that.
Yeah, this I agree. Yeah, you're always a subject to to lose to a knight fork. Yeah, there is always. It's never too late to lose to a knight fork.
And you know, like rook e3 is a bit risky because I can
you
can
go
play
f3,
f3, and after rook a2 I just can push my king forward. Rook f4 or rook
f4?
yeah, rook f4 is
king f4.
yeah.
Yep. Takes.
King f4 takes, and I'm not sure if I have to take it immediately. Maybe knight e4 first.
Yeah.
So I mean, white have some chances. Mathematically, it can be drawish, but I mean, and it's easier to play this one with white. Obviously, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. I think. Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, h4.
Perhaps. Yeah. h4 takes on f2. g4. Look, I think it's not such a lot of pieces left, and players are on 1 minute each. So, well, I think it will be fair to get, you know, the full screen image of a board. And
Good.
Meanwhile, I believe we might have a guest in the studio. We might have a guest in the studio anytime soon. So let's go full screen on the board and follow the game from there. 1 minute each.
So what to do with black?
I wish I knew what to do with black. King
Yeah,
g7,
king
says Wesley. So
Allowing some checks.
allowing some checks, but he's also getting the possibility to give rook h8 check. That's like he's threatening mate in 2, rook f3 and rook h8. Yeah.
Yes.
The knight has to get somewhere closer.
So white's idea is to transfer the knight to f5 square in ideal.
Yeah. But he's not in time, it seems. Knight e4.
Knight e4, rook f3.
Yeah, he's still alive. Knight g3, and then he
and knight goes
he
to
blocks
h5,
on h5,
yes.
but he can't win it.
Yes, but why not? I mean, we have a
It's an
clear
outright
plan, so
draw. It's
yeah.
outright draw. Rook takes h5. You cannot take with the king because you're getting
Yes.
mated. You have to
rook
take with the
f4,
pawn
rook
and
d4,
rook
yeah.
f4.
That's
Yeah.
king
So with
g3.
7 seconds he makes king g3. Then rook d2, I suspect. Looks decent. Move with the tempo. Rook d2.
Rook f6,
right.
rook d4, and maybe we'll try to play this one.
2 versus... Yeah, but those are drawish. Rook f6 is a kind of nice trick. Rook f6.
But the problem is there are some checks on a3, and we should no, rook f3. Okay, I defend. Yeah, I defend.
Wait a sec. How this should be done properly? Because rook d4, now I realize you keep the rooks, of course. You don't go check on e6. You keep the rooks. You go rook f3, and with extra pair of rooks, this might be tricky.
Rook
Okay.
f3, rook f3.
Rook f3 this time.
Yeah, so but still the
But
d4 pawn is
this
untouchable.
this way, it's 3 pawns, which makes it.
Yes, but the pawn is
No,
untouchable.
king f6, right? Or king
King
f7.
f7.
Ah, that's a very calm and very good decision by Wesley. So, king f7. So now, if you guard the d4 pawn,
Yeah, rook
you are
h2
losing
is
the
coming.
h3 pawn.
But maybe there is some active plan connected with king e4, rook h2, d5. I mean, just to try.
Don't believe it.
Yes, it
Really.
might be drawish, but
5, 4.
king
Okay,
f4.
king f4. But that should be a draw. I mean, or already is a draw.
King e6 now.
Is it a draw, you mean? King e6 and I want to attack the knight, yeah?
No, of course it's a draw. I mean,
Yeah,
the
of course it is a draw, but
most likely
it's
the
not for
evaluation
long. I mean,
won't
if
change.
white
Yeah.
if white insists on, you know, then you go king d5 and just take the knight.
Yeah.
King e6, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
forcing white to play king.
the best
f3
defense
probably.
is an actual offense, right?
Right.
Best defense is an actual offense.
Yeah. So king e3.
So king e3, king e5, I suspect. I mean,
Yeah, king e5.
let's be serious. There shouldn't be any chances unless like a knight fork or something.
Right.
I mean, there shouldn't be any chances. I mean, it doesn't matter what the
Yes,
time.
but they're playing rapid and
Doesn't matter what the time control is. I mean, okay, when with like 10 seconds each, no increment, then all results are possible. But being as it is, I don't see Wesley losing this one. h4. Okay, who knows? Now what do you do? King e5, yeah?
King e5, maybe knight g3 for now.
Knight g3, it's like peculiar square because you know, to give a check you will need to spend how many moves?
Yes, but I'm
go to
yeah,
a file.
I'm provoking you to
do what? To do what I want to do. I thought I want my king on f4. I mean, I'm not sure how.
Yeah, but like
how important that is. Check.
I mean, my idea was aimed against rook e1. I mean, just to play king e3 and not so low.
King f3. Okay, now rook a. What? Rook a1.
Yeah, but no, I know, not very next move. I wanted to say check next move.
But wait, but now king e6, and what do? You go to h8 or d8? That's not how you win this position. That's not how you win this. Okay, he decided for king f6, which is come on, that's
another check. And now
king d4. No. Yeah, it's like an empty board, and this knight cannot really run away. Strangely.
Yeah, maybe knight e6, king e5, knight. Yeah, knight e5, rook f1.
Knight e5 is always
rook f1.
Yeah, check from a3. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm not starting to play for a win.
Rook a3, right.
No, okay, not in this match. Obviously, in this match I played rook f1 and take the knight, because the match is over immediately. King e5.
Another check.
Feels like do the head chances, right? But
yeah, he had an extra pawn.
He had an extra pawn, but not anymore, I'm afraid. Yeah, honestly, I don't understand how black loses after, say, if I allow whatever you want, like you solidify, you know, you bring the knight to e4, king to f4 still. It's like the pawns are pushed, and then they're simply not promoting somehow.
Oh, maybe king g3 now. Yeah, but it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't change anything. I mean, like rook g1 probably.
Yeah, king g3, rook g1. That's again the problem.
No, g5.
G5 this way it should be king f5.
Knight
king f5, knight c4.
Yeah, but check on f1. If king g3, rook g1.
Come on, I mean we are analyzing like a dead draw.
Yes, but
dead draw position, but
okay, rook g1 is simplest.
Rook g1, yeah, bravo. And I mean, just kind of stepping a bit further. It's not us, but Hikaru, who won his match already, join us. And okay, just allow us 10 more seconds. This game finishes and we are on air.
How did he get to this endgame though? Because did he play g4 in that position that you have down?
Yeah, we still have this position. It was g4 and
yes, I can refresh it.
Right, but how did he get to this endgame with 2 versus none? After g4, he played king g7.
Yeah, king g7.
Okay,
yeah,
that's still surprising.
This, rook f2,
g4,
g4, king g7.
Yeah, I mean, but why king g3? Why not knight e6?
Knight e6.
He had just a few seconds to make a move.
Yeah, okay, but knight e6, king f7, d5 is very, very tricky, I think. King g6, king g3, knight f4 also.
No, wait.
Yeah, but maybe the idea was to play rook f3.
Yeah, no, wait. But
yeah, king g3.
No, king f7, possibly
d5?
king f7 first, d5 and then rook f3.
Yeah,
and then rook c7.
Check, king g6.
Rook g7.
You give another check,
yes.
king on h6.
Yeah, maybe
it's like
still
who's
nothing,
getting mated, yeah.
I mean, still makes more sense, okay, but I mean, this is just...
Yeah, for some reason he went, I mean, the thing he did in the game didn't look convincing. He went king g3 and then took on f6.
Yes or no? The game should end very, very soon after king h5. By the way.
Here, yeah, king h5. Yeah, what's the current position? Yeah, g5. Oh, no,
I'm sorry,
it's not the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably
so
knight
e3.
e3.
Knight e3, and why not king h5, really?
He might play...
He played rook a3, okay, it's all very basic.
Rook a3, pinning. Pinning and winning.
No, drawing.
This way, winning the match, okay? not the game, but the match, obviously. Check, and yeah. So somewhat dramatic. Well, obviously a dramatic match, and the finish of this game is also somewhat dramatic. So both players from United States advance to round 2, and it's our pleasure to be joined one of them. Hikaru, I think we can look at your game a little bit.
Okay.
Game 1.
Not much to say, really.
Not much to say.
Basically, game 1 was pretty routine. It was very even. If you have this game,
the game 1.
Yeah, game 1. Game 2 is tricky. Game 2 is tricky.
Do we have game 1, by the way? I'm not sure. Yeah, if you say game 2 is tricky, it's better to look at game 2 because
first thing is in game 1, basically it was very balanced, and then somewhere when we both started getting a little bit low, I tried to complicate, and Timur complicated, but it wasn't favorable. And it still was okay, but it was a little bit hard with maybe a minute on the clock. And then he played this f6 move, allowing knight h4. And again, I suspect a computer can hold it very easily.
With some perpetual.
But for a human, it's very messy. And then once king f7, f4, f5 comes, I think practically speaking, it's not possible when you're way down on the clock, and it's sort of spinning out of control. So that was very nice. Second game was pretty balanced. I thought that maybe I used too much time here because after this is all very normal.
That's like all known, right?
Yeah, it's all very, very standard. Keep going. Takes,
check.
Should be 4, knight d2, d4, queen c2, knight c6.
Played it, right?
Yeah,
you played it. Vishy played it, or you against Vishy against you. I don't remember.
Okay, I created the line. Vishy's been playing it since then. So, okay, so knight c6, castles takes, bishop takes, h6, knight f3, bishop g4. All this was very routine, I thought. Bishop h7, king h8, bishop e4, rook c8. Yeah, and he played bishop f5, and here I used maybe 4 minutes, I think, after bishop f5, which, probably I should have just taken right away and avoided anything and had the extra time, because the problem is I used all this time, and I miscalculated this bishop takes f3 line. I saw bishop f3, bishop c8, queen c8, gf3, queen h3, and I thought, basically, it's winning in many ways. So, for example, let's just say queen e4, f5, queen f4, rook f6.
Yeah, queen g3, queen h5 probably.
Yeah, if king h1 here, bishop d6 is winning, obviously. If queen g3, queen h5, king h1, rook g6, queen f4, bishop d6 is, of course, winning. So I saw this was winning, and then I'll give one other line that I saw. So there's another line, so let's just say here white plays rook fd1, which is the best move, by the way. So rook fd1, or ad1, doesn't matter, but say knight e5, doesn't matter, fd1's better. Knight e5. And I thought, okay, bishop f4, there's this very nice move, knight takes f3, king h1, and there's this very nice knight e1 move. And basically, you have queen f3 at the end to win the bishop, and so it's completely winning for black. But around the time that I almost played this, I realized that instead of bishop f4, if you go back, there's actually the move queen c7, and white's probably winning. Yeah, because it covers everything, rook d8, queen g3, and it's very good. So I used a bunch of time on this idea, and then when I realized it didn't work, I played bishop f5, but I had wasted 4 minutes, and I don't think I played precisely. It should have been completely fine here. So takes queen a5. I don't know if queen a5 is best. And then queen h3 to try and create some threats against pawn h6.
Wait, he went queen d7 first.
Right? Sorry, yes, sorry, yeah, right, important, right. He played queen d7. And here I played rook c7. Maybe queen c7 is just safer. I don't know. Even knight e5 is probably okay, but it's very hard to judge what the best way to play this is. So I played rook c7, queen h3. And now I played rook e8. Just simple idea, put the bishop on f8. But after the game, we both realized that here, Timur could have played bishop f4 first.
After rook e8.
Yeah, bishop f4. And if I go rook e7, then a3 is winning a piece. Well, okay, not necessarily winning a piece. There's bishop c5, b4, queen a4, but then bishop takes h6 is winning.
Yeah, that's not the...
So I have to go rook c8, and then white can go queen d7. And, apparently it's still okay for black, but it's very, very tricky and hard to play. So...
Queen g8 or...
No, queen a6 I think is the best move. Queen a6.
Oh, you give the other...
Queen f7, rook f8. So queen takes f7. rook f8, and like if queen e6, I think rook c e8, like
or there.
Probably queen g6, but then I have knight d4. And I mean, okay, queen a6, knight f3 takes ba6 is probably a draw, but it's still going to be a long game here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy. Bishop e3, and white still is probably... White's going to definitely play for a long time here. So we both kind of missed this in between. And after Timur played rook d1, bishop f8, yeah, he played rook e8, rook c7, queen h3, rook e8. Yeah, after he played rook d1, I think it was. Yeah, after bishop f8, I think the whole advantage is just completely gone, and white can't really play for anything more. So I think, I mean, from this point on, there was no danger at all, is what I felt. And so I was able to make the draw.
Yeah, but bishop f4 was quite tricky.
Well, I mean, the thing is, his whole idea, I'll just show the one last idea, was bishop f4. Well, no, I mean what he did in the game. Yeah, what happened in the game, actually. It was, I mean, it took both of us a little bit to see it, was rook e7, a3, queen b5, b4, a5, bishop d6, rook e6. Like, what we both, I mean, like, I used a while before playing rook e6, but we both missed this originally, is that after a4...
Queen d1, probably.
Queen a4, yeah, queen a4, knight g5, and there's a very nice queen takes d1 move, and black's just winning. And so I think that was Timur's whole idea when he played this a3, b4, and then he saw queen d1. I, of course, used a bit of time to play rook e6 because I saw this idea coming too with knight g5, but then I spotted queen d1, so there were never any difficulties.
Yeah, but we've tried to analyze if the same idea works even if we play like rook e4 instead of rook e6. But
yeah, probably. But I mean, I just thought, why do I want to? At this point, it's just try to simplify. When I saw a4 doesn't work, why do I want to put the rook there? When I mean, like, I know I can always put the rook on f6 and very easily make a draw.
It's the most solid move.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's not about trying to be precise. It's about just making sure there are no tricks at all. And after rook e6, there aren't. So yeah, so it was quite good.
Yeah, right. And you kind of held your promise to play a tiebreak, but there wasn't such a lot of tiebreaks in this surprisingly, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, but I think it was very strange because I think what happened is the people who drew with white in the first game, generally speaking, were the people who like to suffer and defend these positions where they're worse. Like Sergey is a good example. I mean, he likes to get this worst position and just defend forever. And I think when you have that sort of dynamic, that means people are going to play forever as well with the white pieces. It's not going to be just a very, very flat equal position in that regard. And so, I mean, I wasn't shocked by that one. Peter also got a position that objectively should have been a draw, but I mean, he had some initiative. He kept pressing, and was able to win. So it's not that shocking, I don't think, considering the matchups. And again, like even Anish against Daniil, I mean, Anish, for whatever reason, seems to think he's the worst rapid player in the world, which I don't understand at all. So, you know, I think it was just it was the matchups and who had black in the second game as to why there were so many decisive games. More than say the format being brilliant or us knowing it's great yet. I think it was just the matchups and so far it seems like it's good for chess. But again, it's very very early, so we'll see.
Well, anything what happens good for chess because the tiebreak was as well. I mean, okay, I will not go and say it was very entertaining, but it was exciting to watch. Even the game you won in the end, this king running to h5, it was.
Yeah, this is
it was
true.
something for spectators.
Of course, yeah, rapid and blitz tends to be more interesting generally for spectators. So
interestingly enough, we might have more rapids, or rather more tiebreaks in round 1 than round 2, and.
There are many less matches, obviously.
Yeah,
so quite possible,
our initial predictions went wrong. I mean,
we said more than half, right? Okay.
And they were only 2 out of 8.
But again, I think a lot of it also, it's like what happened. I mean, you look at Shakrar, I mean, he turned his position from completely winning to probably where it should have been a draw. Then he overpressed and made a loss. And I mean, well, you know, it's funny because the one match that did go to tiebreaks was this Dudas match, which probably never should have gone there. But okay, I mean, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, right. So your next opponent is Dubov, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting match. Haven't played him that many times, but obviously very talented. So just looking forward to it. I mean, I think unlike Anish, I think I have decent chances. I don't think I'm supposedly an underdog in every single game of the format like Anish seemed to think he was. So really just looking forward to playing well, and should be a good match.
Yeah, so good luck with that, and the game is tomorrow. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take your time to prepare. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
All right, so one more time, we have to look at the results of round 1, concluding not on. Okay, first check the tiebreaks. So Hikaru has won first game of Rapid, making a draw in the second one. So the overall score is how many it is? 2.5, 1.5. Hikaru Nakamura wins against Timur Rajabov. And in the second tiebreak today,
and it was a really tense match.
Same score, by the way, 2.5 for Wesley Saw and 1.5 for Jan Krzysztof Duda. The first, well, ironically enough, first draw in this match decided the so it's like it stopped it immediately. So they were exchanging not exchanging victories, exchanged victories in the classical chess. Then Wesley won game 1 of Rapids, and then the first draw, whenever first draw happened, the match was stopped. So Wesley Saw goes through, and we do have players roster. We can once again check what happened in round 1. So we will go through all the pairs. Anish Giri against Daniil Dubov was very exciting match. In game 1, Dubov was pressing with black, finished in a draw, but he won very entertaining, because yesterday I was calling it brilliant. Okay, computer obviously showed that they were the defensive results for
mathematical mistakes, but despite that fact,
nobody cares. It was
very picturesque.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. So he won game 2. He's through. He's playing Hikaru. We just discussed that. Wesley Saw wins on a tiebreak, and he will play against Alexander Grishuk. Grishuk, to remind you, won in classics against Karyakin 1.5, winning second game. Jan Nepomniachtchi won against Aronian. He will face Wei Yi, and Peter Swidler will play against Radoslav Wojtaszek. Second round, game 1, will be played tomorrow, so not that much time left. 3 p.m. local time here in Moscow tomorrow. Make sure to tune in for a second round. Twice as players, like half of the players leave, right? Well, less games, but I believe it won't be less entertainment.